Testing, testing.
There you are.
We go.
Yep, you're good, I think. Okay. So before we get started, before we jump back in, is there any particular questions or anything that came up prior to the end of last night that you guys really quickly want to go over or take care of? Okay.
No, I think we're recapping. We've just gained ourselves a little dragon ally, and we had just executed a short rest. Correct?
Right. So to briefly recap yesterday, or yesterday, last week, you managed to find and take out a number of the central goblin holds, including a number of barracks that a couple of scouts were in. And you also managed to take out a particularly large, hairy goblinoid creature known as a bugbear. You managed to essentially clear out that side of the castle, and using a very clever hidden illusory door trick by Will, peered into the central location where the goblins seem to be, where the tribe seems to rest. In the process, you decided to take a quick shortcut down to the kobolds and enlist their aid in trying to deal with the goblin threat. And after some very successful persuasion checks, managed to ally a number of them to your cause. But before going in there, you believed you found the location of the dragon itself. You, with Eustrail's help, the leader of the kobold tribe, managed to blow your way into this location, whereupon Meepo, who had been your companion through a great number of this dungeon, managed to look straight into the eyes of the dragon before becoming a koboldsicle. After fiddling with this thing for a bit, Kurt managed to land on the dragon's back and persuade this thing that if it helped you guys to kill the kobolds and to kill the goblins, that it could take some of their treasure. And the dragon readily, willingly agreed, not wanting to become these guys' pets again. It turned Eustrail into a kobold's skull as well as one of her guards. As the kobolds fled from your combined wrath, you managed to take all of them down before any of them could retreat back into their side of the castle. To remind you guys, within the entry of this room, this is kind of a trophy room. The trophy is not particularly fascinating. The dragon seems to be guarding a hoard of treasure of some kind that's hiding behind a table. He and the treasure isn't very visible, but that's kind of what it looks like there.
Okay, so it's like a little goblet.
That's might be a part of the treasure. It's really I think the goblet there is just a piece of the
I got
stuff
you. I
that.
got you.
But the treasure's back there. And the dragon's not letting any of you guys near it. Also, on these kobolds, Will, you managed to loot a ring off of Eustrail, and you, to the extent, more or less surmise that the ring is magical, maybe a casting focus of some kind. But the rest of the bodies were kind of cold. Kent, were you wanting to melt the ice away and loot the rest of these bodies at all?
I believe I had asked if there was anything in the room that was flammable, although I assumed that in the room beyond with all the boxes, there's something that we could light a small fire with if I cast Firebolt on it and just kind of thawed them.
There's the oil in one of you kind of burn away the bulk of that oil going after the bugbear. Otherwise, you could probably get some leftover timber from maybe one of the small fire pits in the barracks that you cleared.
Okay. Um, I I figure let's do that. And just because our discussion the other night, Killy, I'm assuming that the bodies of the goblins that we had killed prior, can I scrounge around and look for any cured leather on them?
Yeah, you'll obtain at least 2 or 3 pieces of cured leather that you're able to use as part of your spellcasting.
Okay. So I'm gonna get some tinder. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna light a small fire next to our frozen, kobold adversaries, as it were.
Okay. Okay. As part of the, we'll assume that you do this as part of the short rest, and the ice begins to melt away, and these things are these kobolds are still very much dead. However, you are able to melt enough of them off and kind of look around all the bodies a little bit. Meepo and the elite seem like they're not really holding anything of interest. The elite is holding a crude dagger as well as a sling, but otherwise nothing else. Meepo is not really holding anything worth of value. On Eustrail, you do find another brass key that kind of looks like the prison key, or at least it looks like it's part of the citadel, but there's no marking indicating what door it would open.
Well, I think we should definitely hold on to that key, right, guys?
I agree.
Okay.
Meepo's body, and I lay him down and I close his eyes.
Okay. The eyelids are kind of frozen, but after enough pressure, you kind of try to get them shut. It takes a little bit of effort, but you do manage it.
I would like to take out my flask of holy water and just pour it out and say, "This is for my dead homie." Not the whole thing, just a little bit.
Okay.
I was going to say, don't waste good booze.
It's holy
This
water.
one's for you, G.
This
one's for
you, G.
I'm a monk. That's booze.
Okay. Pant, I noticed the mic looks like it's muted again. I assume you're going to turn it off and on when you want to talk. And nothing's coming through. You can turn on your push to talk if you go to your voice and video settings.
He has to.
And
Sorry.
if you go to your voice
Push
and
to
video,
talk, you have to have the browser tab highlighted in order to use it. It's stupid.
Yeah, it works best with the app itself.
oh, if he has it open in the browser, well, I have the app. I'm talking about the app.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's using the app. If you're using the app, go to your user settings. Down on the very, very bottom, looks like a gear icon. If you go to your voice and video, it's the first choice under app settings. Under input mode, you can just click push to talk, and you should be able to configure push to talk there. That way you don't have to keep muting and unmuting your mic and fidgeting with the voice activity.
Try saying something.
Once you get that set up, just, try to say something.
Oop. Go ahead.
How about now? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Perfect.
See, now I've got it just voice activity. When I
Okay.
click push to talk,
Yeah, you would have to customize the push to talk button.
Yeah. And it shouldn't mute you. Like, does it automatically mute you on the side?
It shouldn't.
I would just go push the talk, Pant. And afterward we can sit down and I'll run you through it a little bit more because
I'm on voice activity now.
yeah,
When I set it to push to talk, it doesn't work.
yeah, it's muting you for some reason.
Well, no, I that's me when it flips mute to not mute. That's me hitting my control key to push to talk.
Oh,
Right, but there's such thing as push not to talk. That's what I use. So I hit the button when I don't want you to hear me.
Oh,
Can you hear me now?
I can
Yes.
hear you now.
So I voice action where the way I have it set now is push not to talk, and I'll just use that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that we can hear you. If it's going to be too much of an issue, we can just switch back to mumble. And like I said, we're kind of experimenting with this to see if it works well. So, if it seems like I don't hear you or nobody's paying attention to what you're saying, just type something in, speak up, and we can, if it comes too much of a hassle, we can switch back.
Will while all this searching and whatnot is going on, Will is just kind of leaning up against one of those showcases and playing a maudlin tune on his lute. He's just looking all kinds of dejected and upset with the way things have shaken out.
I would like to take a second to talk to Will, and I'm going to say, Will, listen, we walked into here, and I realized that we betrayed those kobolds, but they were evil. They were trying to enslave that dragon.
But
Bing, bing. You're muted.
there is no tune this day.
Oh, no.
They may have been evil, but they were allies. And we betrayed them. We have no honor.
Nope.
He's quiet. It's very unusual for Will, but this is, not happy.
Any of the rest of you adding to this?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to the dragon just as soon as you guys are done with that combo.
If I can't convince you, perhaps our future deeds will inspire you in spite of what is going on. And that's basically all I have to say about that.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna turn to the dragon and say that I will offer my pack to it so that it can take its treasure with us, but it has to carry the pack.
The dragon kind of looks at the pack and using its swift motion, it opens up the pack. And what do you have in that pack?
Rubies in there, I think. No, sapphires. I have 3 sapphires,
Okay. Peering inside.
a bedroll, and some stuff.
Okay. Peering inside, he's going to kind of fidget around a little bit. And he watch as the 3 sapphires within your bag are taken out one by one and put into this dragon's pile.
Okay. All right. So you don't want to bring that treasure with us when we leave?
That comes out of your share.
And then it takes the backpack and kind of just throws it off towards one of the walls.
So I get my backpack and I put it back on. And I say, well, I guess when we leave here, how do you plan on bringing the treasure with us? Your treasure, clearly.
The dragon just kind of roars a little bit and it motions towards the door like it's ready to just get out. But it's keeping a very, very close eye on you as it kind of waits.
Okay. I give it a large breath around its treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Door with it.
What are the rest of you doing?
Oh yeah, I say, guys, do we want to go back and try to get the whatever's on this table down here to our southwest and take care of these last 2 kobolds?
Well, by all means. We've already murdered half of them. What's a little theft?
You can just tie them up, I guess. I mean, we need that key, and she did promise if we found the dragon, we could have it. So technically, it's ours.
It's good. I agree. This is good reasoning. Let's go.
All right, let's go explore the kobold area. The kobold area.
Okay. Will, are you following them?
I suppose.
Okay. So as you guys exit your way out, the dragon is going to go ahead and fly in between each of you. It makes its way. You continue to make your way pretty easily down towards the southern wall, and or to the southern hallway back where the kobolds were. And you're making your way up towards the throne here then?
Yeah.
Okay.
While he's going toward the throne, I'd like to open this door that the three rescued kobolds came out of earlier.
You're just opening the door and kind of peering inside?
Yes, I am.
You see peer into a room full of a number of kobolds. There are several small but smoky fires that light the entirety of this chamber. You see a number of tanning racks with kobolds kind of tanning some very crude but effective leather, some spits roasting what appears to be mostly rat, and other implements of a primitive culture. And as most of these kobolds kind of peer at you for a brief second and aren't otherwise really paying attention to you.
I yell, tickle corn, tickle corn.
Okay, they immediately go back to their activities, and one kind of points its way towards the throne as if that's the direction you probably want to head.
Okay. I'm going to, because the other guys weren't in range, I'm going to say, guys, there's a shitload of kobolds in that other room.
Yeah.
Okay. As you're kind of peering in and wandering down the hall, the dragon flies in front of you. These two elites kind of look a little bit dumbfounded, and before they can really react, the dragon lets out a breath of cold towards both of them. It's dexterity, no constitution saving throw. Okay, but they only have 7, so. Okay, so you watch as the two kobolds in front of you, who are kind of guarding this throne, instantly just get turned into frozen icicles. And the dragon, you kind of watch for a minute as it roars in a slight victory, and that roar kind of fills this chamber a little bit. And you watch as the dragon continues to fly. It lands with its feet right on top of the throne, and it begins to, with its mouth, try to pull the key out of the mouth of this dragon that makes up the throne.
Oh, Killy. I go, hey, wait a second there. Wait. We need that key.
It looks at you and kind of roars for a minute before returning to its attempt to loot the key.
I think
Make a quick insight check. Hello?
Oh, yeah, what'd you say? Sorry?
As you approach this thing, go ahead and make a quick insight check.
Sorry, I just didn't hear.
Okay. You're kind of watching this dragon. It looks like you're beginning to finally get the sense here that this dragon, who is maybe not much older or much more mentally mature than, say, a toddler, is probably not super keen on this idea of sharing.
I suggest
Oh, befriend the dragon, they said. Befriend the kobolds, they said. So much better.
as the dragon's trying to do that, I'd like to pull Kurt aside to about here. And if he would kindly come over here, I'd like to whisper to him, see if you can get the dragon. Tell him there is a load of treasure in the hall, down the hall in that other room.
Oh, it goes against every fiber of my being.
Okay. As you approach, the dragon does take the key out, and it now is holding it in its mouth.
I try to kind of coax it into giving me the key. On this table here to my left as I glance over.
Okay. Before you can... So how are you coaxing this dragon to giving you the key?
Offer it something from the table that looks shiny that maybe isn't worth much. I just don't know.
You're just making your way over to the table?
Standing here by the throne, but I'm looking left to see if there's anything on the table that I could quickly grab, like Indiana Jones. Like, hey,
Oh, okay.
I'll sit you.
Okay. Let me see here. Okay. On the altar, you can see a number of items. There's one that looks kind of like a feather of some kind. You can also see there appears to be 3 scrolls that are all bound in a red ribbon, and there's also a flask that has a some sort of red liquid inside of it.
Huh.
Red and white liquid. and you're just kind of
Yeah.
looking at it.
Want to help me with this situation here? Any assistance would be great.
I'm sorry, 3 scrolls, the flask, and what else?
Something that kind of looks like a feather, but you're not quite sure what it is.
Can I go up to this table and while Kurt is obviously trying to bargain with a baby dragon, I
Baby
would
dragon.
I would like to see if I can if I can perceive what any of these are, or I mean if they're magical in nature, or
Okay. Before you really get the chance for that, you can see the dragon swoops down to the table, key in mouth, and with one leg, he grabs 2 of the scrolls. With another leg, he grabs the
God.
flask,
Damn it!
and he begins flying back in the other direction.
I think we got to take this dragon down, which is not what I wanted, but I think we have to.
No. I vote we let him bring his crap back while he's flying away and can't understand me. We let him take his stuff back to his treasure hold. Then we go get the goblins first. Then we'll get rid of
What
him.
goblins? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, what if he leaves with all that stuff that we need, like the key to progress?
Follow him. Make sure he doesn't get too far.
Well, let's go then, I guess.
all right.
I might add that he did leave the flask and one of those spell scrolls and the feather on the table.
Can I see what
Those
if I know
things.
anything about those?
Okay. Are you just grabbing all 3 of them and really quickly kind of perusing through them on your way back?
Yeah, what is it? It's a flask and what?
There's something that kind of looks like a feather of some kind. You're not, without identifying it or anything, you're not quite sure what it does. There's also a spell scroll. If you open it up, the spell scroll contains the spell Knock.
Okay, I'll grab that.
Okay.
Unlock doors.
Yes. I assume my character would know what that is.
Your character would be familiar with the Knock spell if he wouldn't already have it learned, but it's a spell scroll of Knock.
Okay, all right.
And
I'll
I
grab
can
the
make that.
feather if no one else is grabbing it.
You grab the feather.
Yeah, does it look? What's it? Is it a feather? Is it made out of something else?
Make a quick inspection check.
I'm sorry. A what check?
Inspection, or that's a skill, right? Investigation. I'm sorry, not inspection. It's investigation. I'll allow the perception check. We'll just go with the perception check. The spell scroll is, or rather, the feather is kind of light, but glancing at it, it almost looks like the feather itself has bits of maybe bark entwined inside the feather. You just glancing at it, it's some kind of magical token, but you're not sure what it does.
All right, just stash it in my pouch.
Okay. There's also the flask on the table, yeah. Or is there? I'm sorry, no, he picked that up. Okay. There was a spell scroll and there was the feather. That's right. Okay.
Hardly the time for a drink, says Will of 8 intelligence as he wanders off in search of the dragon.
Okay. So I'm assuming we're all going back up to the dragon horde ish area.
Okay. A dragon kind of flies off well ahead of you, and by the time you get there, the dragon's already making his way back out of the door there, and kind of looks at each of you expectantly for a minute to see what you're doing.
Will goes, "Great dragon, I salute you with music. And I tell you, you see that door over there?" And Will points. "Much treasure, more than we had when we arrived."
Okay. Make a quick deception check. Oh yeah, the dragon kind of looks at you for a minute, peers for just a second before glancing around you. It's pretty close as it does in trying to make its this tiny little whelping as intimidating as it can be before it flies off in this direction. Are the rest of you following it as it does this, or what are you doing?
I'm going to stand right about here.
If the
Okay.
genre had popcorn, I would be making.
Kurt, Duck, what are you two doing as this is going on?
Guess I want to see if
I'm-
this dragon's just going straight through the door or not. Does the dragon still have the key?
Not in his mouth, no. When you
Down in the
return,
room?
it's
Yeah,
far
when
as
he,
you know.
assuming he goes through the door, Will was planning on stealthily raiding that hoard of whatever for the key and anything easily pilfered.
okay.
It seems like some unknown force, like a DM, isn't going to let it be part of our party. So we should just let it go in there and either kill all of them or die, and then take its treasure in here.
Yeah.
Okay. The dragon kind of bursts through the room, and you hear the sound of a number of goblins terrified and screaming, but you otherwise aren't getting a really good picture of it. As it bursts through the door, go ahead and roll initiative, let's say. That way we'll be able to track this as efficiently as possible.
Really? Oops, that was a misclick.
What did you click on?
I clicked on unarmed strike by mistake.
Roll initiative. Unarmed strike.
Well, no, I rolled initiative earlier.
I'm just picturing him
Bitches.
standing in the doorway, and it's like, oh man, like a bad kung fu movie. He's like, ah.
Fuck.
Oh, and I suppose Erky's just kind of following you guys as all of this is going on and watching from a distance, trying to stay nowhere close to this dragon. Okay. Okay. Kurt, you're at the top of the round. This dragon has just burst through the door. You hear a bunch of screaming going on. What are you doing?
I'm going to go into this room and then check out the stash.
Okay. Within the stash,
For that
there are
key.
okay, you're just going straight for the key.
I mean, I want to know what else is in the stash, clearly, but like
Okay.
the key is my main destination.
Okay. So the key that was in the dragon's mouth is sitting in this pile just on top of it, so you can easily grab that. As the two other spell scrolls and the flask are also sitting there. Within the rest of the pile itself, as a very, very quick glance, you can also see there's a jade figurine worth about 20 gold, a crystal goblet, which you saw in the picture, that's worth about 5 gold, and there's a bunch of miscellaneous silverware. It all looks pretty fine, if somewhat tarnished, but they're all, the 24 pieces of silverware are all worth about a gold each. And of peculiar note, in this tiny little stash, you also see what appears to be a sealed scroll case, and the case is carved with bone.
Okay. Well, I grabbed the key and the 2 scrolls and the potion and the other, whatever it was, the last scroll that's carved with bone. And
Okay.
I have those in my hand.
Okay.
I would put
I'll
them in your
say-
pack.
I'll say with this turn, you can grab the spell scrolls, including
Definitely want the
bones.
key more than anything.
Okay,
If we
I'll
can
let you grab the key and the spell scrolls for now.
Sure, that's fine. I mean,
Okay.
I don't plan on keeping these, so I'm not putting them in my pack. I'm gonna give him the will, but I'll save him the time of sorting through it, and then I can put him in his pack while he's grabbing more things. I in here.
Oh.
So
Okay. We'll call that a turn then. The commoners all make a move that most of the rest of the none of you see. They all kind of, but you hear a lot of them suddenly panic and start running. Bjerke, he's just going to kind of stand off to the side and wait close to this door. Will, what do you do?
Will is heading into the room as well, and sees that his fellow party member has got the situation well in hand. Other than the objects you mentioned, is there a coin scattered about in the pile?
There's no coin in the pile itself. There is just the crystal goblet, the jade figure that's shaped like a dragon, and a bunch of silverware. It's all, it's all worth gold, but there's no gold pieces per se.
Real fast, just point of order. The sapphires he took earlier should be there, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, forgive me. Yeah, so the 3 sapphires worth about 5 gold each are sitting there as well.
Okay. I will just help him pack what is there into our respective.
As treasurer, I'm just gonna shove everything in your pack as you're picking up more stuff, if that's cool with you.
That's fine. I mean, I'm good. Whatever I can carry, I'll carry.
Cool.
Do you need help over there?
I don't think so.
If you leave me to fight these goblins alone, I'm going to kick your ass later.
That might have been my plan all along, but no, I'm here. So those goblins, how's the fight going on here? I'm going to sneak next to the door and peer in to see how the dragon's doing.
Well, it's not your turn yet.
Oh.
That's sad. I'm not paying attention. I'm doing something else, but...
Will, are you doing anything else for your turn? Other than just helping him kind of stuff everything in?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay. So the goblins are going to go. The ones that are there are... the rest of you can't see this, but for the sake of narrative, we'll say they're all going to attempt to surround this dragon and try to just take it out as best they can. One of them staying...
Ooh, that's a conal shape. I feel bad for those guys.
One of them staying back with a short bow. 2 of them staying back with a short bow even. Let's see. So he'll take that hit.
I was going to say, watch. We couldn't
The
land
dragon are not the commoners. We should have released them on the elites. That was dumb.
That one misses. That one misses, and that one hits.
Yeah, I was going to say, we couldn't hit that dragon, like, if it was the side of a barn and we had a shotgun the other night. Watch these guys take him out in 2 turns.
Well, the dragon wasn't fully healed from the attack with the kobolds, so I'll throw that out there. It was in good shape after the short rest, though, for a little bit. Kent, you're up next. What do you do?
Let's see. I would like to move to here. And are any of those goblins in sight?
So you see a number of goblins, at least the 3, including this one to the north, are all kind of trying to do what they can with this thing. And what you also don't, you can also see a great number of commoners have begun to retreat towards the north door here. And one of them kind of retreats, or is retreating over towards this door.
Okay. In my line of sight to attack, what I see, I assume probably this one and this one, because I'm not standing right next to the door.
This one's kind of out of sight. You can see this one and that one.
I would like to cast Firebolt at that one.
Okay, go ahead, make an attack roll. Oh yeah, that'll definitely hit. So your firebolt finds its mark pretty easily, and this goblin who was too occupied with the dragon, who's not really paying attention to anything else going on, sees this bolt of fire suddenly come out of nowhere, and you take the sucker out in one hit. All right, the dragon goes. You watch as a breath of cold emanates from the dragon onto quite a number of these goblins.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
6. Okay, and that was a total of 27. Okay, yeah. So you watch as a whole lot of these goblins are suddenly encased in ice, including these two that were right next to it fighting it, and at least 6 of the 24 or so goblin commoners that are trying to flee to the north.
Damn. Just going to try to save them.
Duck, you're up next.
So what are we looking at? Those are dead. Those. I'm going to. Show myself, I think.
Okay.
Go in here and attack Dickwad in front of me here.
All right, make an attack roll. Are you fully blowing it?
Sorry, just watching the third one come up, I just can't help but
So it's Tuck's special new Monk Flurry of Blows, which allows him a second unarmed strike as part of a bonus action. His is going to be a penile thrust to be in line with the character. So,
Isn't it called a flail?
it's flaccid, so it's considered a light weapon. So
So it's
the
a whip.
quarterstaff. What's that? Yeah. So the quarterstaff misses just barely. The goblin sees you coming just the last second and parries it. But you manage to bludgeon this thing on the nose. It reels back for a minute, barely standing on its feet before an unexpected flaccid weapon comes slapping it across the face as it goes down.
That's right. Cock slap for the win.
Flaccid weapon.
You just cock slapped the goblin to death.
I like
Don't
it.
forget to take away the necessary key points.
What do you call that technique?
Cock foo.
Cock foo.
At the top of the round, Kurt, with Will's help, you've managed to essentially take everything of worth that was this goblin dragon's hoard and put it into a pack. You can hear sounds of combat down to the southwest. What are you doing?
I will, how far can I run? I'll make it to about here, I guess. Hey, I yell, "What's going on?" and see if I can get any information.
Okay. Any information you would get would be relayed to you by Kent or Tuck. So
I'll tell him that the dragon has just gone ham on the entire room, and it is decimating its foes.
Okay.
I would also suggest we maybe heal the dragon at least once to be prepared for the next room.
I don't suggest we heal the dragon at all.
Did you not look at the next room?
I have seen the next room.
Okay. Not this room, the next room.
I know.
Okay.
okay, we'll call that a turn. The commoners continue to flee like mad towards the north door. You see one of them does open this door to the tower and yell something in Goblin inside really, really quickly. And before fleeing itself towards the north door. And there's just this mad stampede of goblins all fleeing to the north. Some of them making it into the hallway. But not that guys can see that.
Pardon me, guys. Sorry about that cough.
You're okay. Urki's going to move towards, let's say, about here, and just kind of wait and watch for the time being. Just not quite sure who to attack or what's going on. Will, you're up next.
Will comes strolling out. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You know, and as he's sauntering with a much improved attitude, you know, he's like walking along whistling that tune, Kill Bill. You know? You know, and he's just he's holding his action. He'll if that dragon decides to burst back in here and do something, he'll go defensive. But otherwise, he's just
Okay.
enjoying the noise, the sweet music of combat.
Okay. Tuck, you can see to the southwest corner, bursting out from the room towards your southwest, come 3 more armed goblins.
Oh, good.
And they're peering out at the room and the situation here that's going on, and are immediately notice the dragon. And let's see, it's 83, 20 feet. Yeah, so they're all going to take their short bows out, and they're just going to try to pelt this dragon. Ooh, one got a crit. Yeah, and all 3 of those are going to hit.
Damn.
8, 8, and 5. So the arrows all actually find weak points in the dragon, and you watch as the dragon gives up one last roar, and as it collapses to the ground and dies.
Huh, there was no one in range to heal the dragon anyway.
So the dragon is dead. Kent, you're next.
All right, I'm going to walk to the doorway. Oh, okay, I'll turn that off. And let's see, what's that? 1, 2, 3. Hold on.
These guys are
Fleeing.
north a little bit. Yeah.
You know what? I gotta just see what the range of firebolt is. I'm sure it will hit that far, but I want to make sure.
I believe it's 120 feet, so you should be good.
Okay. I will attack. God damn it. Hold on. I will attack that one.
Sure,
With
go
firebolt.
for it.
By the way, I am terrible with this application, mind you.
With the Roll20 application?
Yeah, I keep closing my character sheet.
Yeah. If you double click on the name on the sheet, it'll just kind of minimize it. You can kind of double click it on and off.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Okay. You said you were hitting this one?
Yep.
Okay. Your firebolt easily finds its mark. You've become fairly proficient at this after a while, and you watch as this goblin gets roasted in flames and it dies. An expert fireball marksman. That. Your dragon's dead, so he doesn't get a turn.
Die
Tuck,
in
you're up
fire.
next. There's this whole stampede of goblin commoners rushing towards the north.
I am going to rush the commoners to the north and attack the one to the northeast of me.
Okay. I will add, belying the tokens here. The tokens are representative of a few of the more male commoners that are kind of fleeing to the north. They're armed with crude clubs, but none of them seem interested in fighting. Outside of the tokens, there's at least a couple dozen women and children that are also fleeing towards the north.
Look out, the hero is going to attack the women and children.
No, they can leave. The men, though, they're done.
So you're attacking one of the commoners?
Commoner men.
Okay. Okay. The 6 won't hit, so that misses wildly. But even with that 16, your quarterstaff does find a mark, and you watch as one of these terrified goblins just trying to flee just falls unconscious to the ground as your quarterstaff finds its mark.
Good.
Kurt, you're up next. At the top of the round.
Oh, that's me.
Yep. By the way, Kurt and Will, none of you are really able to figure out what all is going on. You don't even know the dragon's dead yet.
Going to enter the room then.
As you enter the room, you do see your dragon pelted with arrows lying dead on the ground, and a number of goblins fleeing to the north, as well as 2 armed with short bows trying to come in and do something here.
I shed a small tear for the dragon as I say, "You key stealing bitch," and then I I use my my bow on this one here.
Okay. 12's not going to do it. So
Yeah,
the
that
goblin manages. Your shot goes a little bit wide and it sticks into the door.
Thank you.
I love how you said pew pew though.
Okay. So at the end of your turn, all of you watched as a goblin dressed in robes kind of makes its way out from the tower. I need to add a turn. So this goblin makes its way out of the tower, yelling something in goblin back into the room. And as it peers outside at the whole lot of you and this chaos that's going on, you watch as she raises her hands and a dark magic incantation makes its way over towards Tuck, who she watches attacking the commoners. She will attempt to cast inflict wounds on you.
Yes.
A 16 beats your AC, I take it.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a range of touch.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. No, I can't do that. Shit.
Thank God.
Sorry.
No, we gotta follow the rules. You're right. That's perfectly okay. You know what?
Soliloquy. That's always good.
Okay, you know what? She's gonna cast Bane on the 3 of you that she can see. So everybody but Erky and Will. So I'd like the 3 of you, Tuck, Kurt, and Kent, to make charisma saving throws. No, you know what? Kent, she can't reach you, so it doesn't hit you.
Oh.
She can hit Tuck and Kurt though.
Go charisma.
Is this a spell? Is this magic? Is that?
Yeah. So Tuck and Kurt make a charisma saving throw. Okay. The 16's good. Well, he rolled it with advantage there or something like.
Measure saving throws against spells and other magical effects.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're good. So yeah, you're good. Tuck, you get affected by the magic. So anytime you have to make a attack roll or saving throw, you have to roll a d4 and subtract that number rolled.
Yep.
Okay. And that'll be her turn while she's concentrating on this spell. The commoners continue to flee to the north. A number of them have begun to kind of push and pass their way out of the room and down towards the hallway. Will, you can hear the panic cries of a number of goblins to your north.
Oh, company's coming.
Erky is seeing the combat in the room, going to attempt to kind of squeeze past you, and seeing this. Let's see. We'll move that token. Move him here, and seeing this this goblin dressed in robes, he's going to attempt to cast a sacred flame against her. If I can find his character sheet. There we go. and she saves the throw. So just barely manages to dodge out of the way of the sacred flame as it attempts to land. Will, your turn next. You hear combat going on in the room where all your friends have kind of charged in. You hear a lot of panicked cries to your north.
I'll move there. That's my full move.
Okay. As you move in, you can see the dragon is now dead on the ground, and there are a number of commoners, including at least a couple of women that have been frozen in ice.
Will looks at regards the dragon and puts a hand over his mouth mockingly and goes, "Did I do that? Oh no." And let's see. He can see those two goblins with the short bows, but can they hear him? Do you think if he were to say something?
In the midst of this chaos, you could try to speak something loud enough, and they could probably hear you. Especially because most of the commoners are now to your north, and so most of the panic cries are beyond the realm of everybody else.
All right, he'll shout, "Hey!" to get there and strum. "That short bow makes you look fat."
Okay.
And that's my vicious mockery.
Yep. So just double checking the range on that. That's fine. We're looking at a wisdom saving throw. It seems in the midst of this chaos, the goblin couldn't quite even understand what you were saying. It succeeds on the saving throw. All right.
Well, it was a weak line anyway.
These two goblins are going to attempt to rotate towards the north a little bit, towards the shamanic woman to the north, and pulling out their short bows. They're going to attempt to fire both of them at you, Kurt.
Oh, cool.
One's a 23 to hit. The other is a 17 to hit.
What happened?
What's your armor class? You're 16? Okay. So both of those attacks are going to hit. You take a total of 10 points of damage. And I'll go ahead and adjust your hit points there for you. At level 1, that would have killed you. At level 2, it hurts like hell. Kent, you're up next.
All right. Hold on 1 second.
You just watch as your lizard ranger buddy just got pelted with 2 arrows.
I do see that. And I unfortunately said to him, "Sorry, buddy, not a cleric." Hold on. Okay.
And then you do.
I'm going to move to here.
Sure. I'll go ahead and just move that commoner token out of the way.
Yeah. Where'd you? Did I say here? Right about. Okay. Making sure. I lost my space on the board.
Yep.
I'm going to down a potion of fire breath.
Ooh, okay.
And I am going to spit it at the robe-wearing goblin.
Okay.
Now I have no
So-
idea how to roll that.
So you can either open up your die roller and set it up as a roll that way, or you can do a slash roll just like you would in D&D, or excuse me, in World of Warcraft. Slash roll space 1, or in your case it'd be slash roll 46. And I will add that it'll clip a couple of the commoners, and it's going to clip that goblin the way you're facing too, the
Okay.
northmost goblin.
How do I make the attack roll for that, or does it automatically hit?
It automatically does it automatically hit? Let me double check that. Potion of fire breath. They have to make a dexterity saving throw.
Right. So what? Okay. All right.
So go ahead and roll your 46. Okay. So fortunately, the two commoners duck out of the way of this fire and they don't get clipped in.
Yay for the common people!
The warrior, or the scout,
oh.
absolutely gets hit. And as for Ren, As for the shaman, it's dexterity.
Oh,
She saves.
damn it.
She quickly dodges out of the way while trying to maintain the spell and avoids the damage. But you do see that this one goblin that was close to her and trying to protect her is engulfed in flaming death,
Okay.
and he goes down.
All right.
Okay. Tuck, you're up next.
I'm gonna pay for this later, but I'm gonna charge the crazy bitch with the robe.
Uh-huh.
And
Oh, yeah. So let's see. All right. So the 11, the unarmed strike's not going to hit, but that crit's absolutely going to do it. Your quarterstaff swings well into her, and you just knock her well back as she falls hard onto the ground. She is unconscious.
Finish him.
Kurt, you're up next.
Well, come on, you were thinking it.
I'm going to shoot this goblin with my bow.
All right, go for it. 13's not going to do it. You cannot
And,
seem to get this damn bow to work. You remember
I
shooting
cannot,
it back in
really.
Ranger School, but damn, it seemed a lot easier back then when the targets weren't moving around.
I'm going to move over to here to try and put out of attack sight because someone's in between us. And then I'll end my turn.
But
Okay.
might I add, the only ranger that had to make friends with the animals because he could not kill them.
That's pretty good.
Okay. Most, but save for a small trickle of the commoners, have now fled into the northernmost hallway at this point. Will you watch from a distance, even in this misty fog, as you see a number of goblin and goblin folk, including women and children, just kind of fleeing behind you?
Your liberators have rescued you.
Urki's gonna swing over down to the south a little bit, and he's going to attempt another sacred flame against this goblin.
Roll.
Who does not save. So you watch as a bit of this flame of radiant energy engulfs the goblin, but he stands tall, determined to do what he can to allow the rest of his tribe to flee safely. Will, you're up next.
Okay. Step into the room.
Okay.
And actually, I'll even move up a little bit next to my cleric friend here.
Sure.
My good former prisoner of Lysandra.
Mm-hmm.
And I will attempt to viciously mock that goblin again.
Sure.
With that bow makes you look fat one. Because it works so well.
Okay. Oh, the goblin critically saves on that one. You hear the goblin point back at you in broken common and goes, "You're one to talk."
And she's like, "Oh, fat. Oh, never mind."
The goblin, watching the shamanic leader goes down and kind of completely ignoring Will, is just going to move right up next to Tuck and viciously attempt to attack him. At 11's not going to beat your AC, I imagine.
No.
So
15.
All right. You manage to easily dodge out of the way of this thing as it desperately flails against you, doing what it can. Kent, you're up next.
Okay. I would like the position so I do not roast my monk friend. So if I spit that flame,
Mhm.
can I spit it without hitting Tuck?
What you could do is, say, move here and position it down in a diagonal.
Then we will do that.
Okay.
And
So just roll your.
Yep.
What did we say it was? 46. The goblin's going to save at that with a 21, though. I think the DC, if I recall, was a 12 or a 13 or something. 13, yeah. So, your fire spit does look fairly dangerous, but the goblin manages to duck out of the way just in time, doing whatever it can to hold on. Tuck, you're up next.
As I stare down this dirty ass goblin, he's getting a 2-handed quarterstaff hit.
All right. Yeah, 20 is absolutely going to do it. You bash this thing over the head, and with a hard bludgeoning attack, you watch as this goblin dies before you.
I grab my cock in my hand, swing it around, and say, "That's right, bitch."
Okay. For the sake of expediency, we're back at the top of the round. Are you guys going to do anything else with these commoners, or are you letting them kind of just run off?
I say to the party, I would let them go.
I'm not gonna stop him.
Will, in a dashing move that he's practiced many times, slings his loot over his back as he draws his rapier. His other hand, his offhand, fishing his pan flute out of his waistband, so he can play music and fight simultaneously. And he gestures with his rapier at the door where the shaman was and says, "There's several more in there, fairly big ones too.
Okay.
Be on your guard," he says.
As you have this conversation, the remaining bits of the gobliners are fleeing behind you. And as you peer inside the door, you can see, tucked from where you are, a number of the hobgoblins. These large goblin-like creatures who not quite as hairy as the bugbear you fought, but are especially are dressed in all kinds of mail and armor and such. As you kind of peer into the room, well, let me ask you this: you can see these guys in the room, but they're not even jumping out to save the tribe. They're just kind of waiting and watching. They do have the three on the walls have their weapons drawn. Are you walking into the room, or are you kind of waiting?
If you're talking to me, I'm gonna come over here and close the door.
Okay. The unconscious body of the shaman is kind of in the way.
That bitch out of the way. Come with me, unconscious body.
Move, bitch. Get out the way. No.
So you drag her out and just kind of close the door. These four kind of watch you as you do this, and you're just kind of moving her out of the way. It's kind of like they're all kind of just watching you, arrows drawn, kind of waiting to see what you're doing. You just kind of take this thing and drag it out. They just kind of watch it, and then you try to close the door, and her foot's kind of stuck in there. You're not quite able to get it, and then you try to get her foot out of the way. It's kind of stuck a little bit more. They lower their bows. They're kind of watching, really, really confused as to what's going on. And then you manage to finally get her foot free out of here and pull her away. And you kind of peer in, and slowly the door finally closes.
I would like to search her body if we're out of combat.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Pulling her out.
Okay.
Perception.
She doesn't look like she's carrying anything as far as gold or other kind of value on her, but you do find on a clasp on her belt there are 2 more keys.
Love keys.
I say we.
All right,
hold
I'll
on
grab
to
them, I
those
guess.
keys.
And as you look at these are brass keys, and they are actually have in crude writing. They do have what they go to. One is listed as trophy room, and one is listed as prison. And just glancing at these keys look like they're keys to rooms you've already been to.
Ah, cool. That seems useful.
I'm sorry, trophy room, and what was the other one?
Prison. And just from your experience, you know the prison. The key to the prison is where you freed Erky. The key to the trophy room is the door you burned down.
Oh, are we out of combat actually?
At the time, for the time being, yes. The remaining commoners have fled at this point.
Okay, real fast. I would like to ask Garen. I would like to ask Friar Tuck if I could borrow one of his knives for a moment.
Sure.
Prison.
I hand him a dagger and
Alright.
back away one step.
I would like to go see if I can take any of the dragon's skin off of it.
All right. Go ahead and just make a straight dexterity check.
Hold on. Dexterity.
Okay. You're having a little bit of trouble trying to get around this thing. You're trying to get a lot of the scales or something off, and this dagger, that you're trying to pierce this thing, is made for stabbing humanoids. It's not meant for kind of piercing a dragon. You're not really finding any sort of foothold to get the scales off of this thing.
Okay.
I have a crowbar. Would that help?
I have a
Great.
crowbar too.
Are you going to attempt to crowbar the scales off of this baby dragon?
Desecrate the dead.
Not just yet.
Rip off their skin. Rip off their heads. I don't know. There's a song in there somewhere.
Okay. What else are you doing? Kurt's pretty
Oh
hurt.
yeah. Yeah. Anyone want to heal me? Yes.
Erky says, I'm tapped out, sorry.
Will's gonna check out this other door.
Okay.
I'll just
I-
came out of- yeah.
I guess Erky didn't benefit from that short rest, did he? Like, I don't know how his class works.
Basically a cleric. He doesn't recover his spell slots unless he takes a long rest, and he's tapped out already.
Oh, poor bastard.
You peer into the room. It's the room that those three scouts came out of looks very much like the other barracks that you fought the other goblins in.
I'll search it.
Okay, go make a quick perception check. Okay, you do find hiding under two of the rugs. There is a pouch containing about 5 gold pieces. Another one. There's a ruby that is a little tarnished, but you think you could still sell it for maybe about 10 gold.
Thank you.
If I search down here, what would I need to?
Nothing. As you kind of search through the bits and the pieces and the scrap, I will say this: as you're kind of looking through, you do notice in the midst of all this garbage, there is what appears to be fungi, and it's phosphoric, and it's giving off some sort of violet and sometimes green sort of glow.
Roll. Okay. Is it
On
edible?
top of- Are you going to try to eat it?
Here. Do I? This fungi?
Okay. With the 16, the fungi is edible. It's not particularly tasty, but you could eat it if you needed nutrients in an emergency. Because of the phosphorant glow that this thing gives off, it's more often used as sort of a natural light for reading or something else like that.
Let's
It is
see.
a very, very common fungus amongst the Underdark.
Will suggest that we harvest some of it. You spellcasters who use books, he says jokingly, might, if you ever have to run a cold camp without a fire, you can at least read.
Hey, Kurt, while I'm thinking about this, actually, go ahead and make a perception check while you're searching.
Not good.
Okay. You do find mixed in with a number of things what appears to be bedding of where maybe that shaman was, and next to it is what a healer's kit and a poisoner's kit.
One, or I can save from being poisoned.
Those are worth quite a bit, actually.
They're kits used for different proficiencies. A healer's kit contains like bandages and medicine and other stuff. Poisoner's kit contains stuff to make poison, that sort of thing.
If memory serves, that's on order of 30 gold or the 2 kits.
At this point, I'd like to remind Will that Mr. Connors is very injured and could use some kind of healing at this point. Money be damned, we must keep him alive.
I don't think we have any spells though, right? So we'd have to use something else. You're implying, okay, I see. I don't. If someone else thinks they'd be able to heal me with it. Very wise.
I will say for reference, by the way, the healer's kit's about 5 gold. The poisoner's kit's about 50 gold. And
Good
the
poisoning?
Yeah. So the healer's kit contains bandages, salves, and splints. And I will also add with the healer's kit, it's used to stabilize a creature that's at 0 hit points.
Oh, okay. So it won't heal me at all from our back.
It doesn't restore hit points. It's used to stabilize.
Okie doke.
So, I will throw out there in
Get
case you
those.
forgot. Will, you did pick up a healing potion off of Caracas's body a while back. On top of that, I believe you can also cast Cure Wounds. I don't know what your spell slots are looking like.
I think Will's still mad at Kurt
Yeah.
for killing all those kobolds.
Reminding done. All right.
Oh, he's muted again.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was talking.
Yeah, we didn't.
No,
hear you,
I will
so-
absolutely offer up the healing potion to our injured snake man.
Interesting.
Saying, my magic's might must be kept in those louts in the next room.
Yeah, take a rest, or should I use the potion? What do you guys think?
We can take a short rest if you have hit die to spend. Might help. And I can do a Song of Rest, which will allow you to get additional hit.
My question is the other room going to keep while we just hang out here and take a short rest?
We could take an hour and just sit in this room, I guess.
I'm really curious as to see how long they'll wait.
I mean, the best case scenario, we get back some dice. I mean, some health points. And the worst case scenario is we start combat now. So, I mean, I don't know.
I think we should drag the shaman in the room with us, tie her up, because she's only unconscious.
Oh, yeah, she's knocked out, right? Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going to pull her in the room.
Okay.
Would be fair to
Put her on
say
one
we're
of these-
all going in the room. Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to put her on one of these bedrolls and take my rope.
Okay.
And tie her up.
Okay.
Legs, hands, like hogtied. She can't move. She can't wave her arms.
Mhm.
And I'm going to use my silk rope to stuff her mouth to make sure she can't talk either. She is a mage after all.
Okay. And you said her hands are bound?
Hands and feet behind
Hands
her
and feet
back
bound.
together,
Okay.
like hogtied.
Okay. And are you taking a short rest then?
Yeah,
We
I think
should-
Erky
yeah.
needs to come in here, too. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say close the door.
This door? Any of our 18 keys?
Does this door lock?
Not
I was just being an asshole.
that you can tell.
18 keys that open 0 doors that we need. Yes.
Well, we have one.
Oh,
we
no,
don't.
we have-
we have
we have
one.
one
We
that-
don't know where it goes to yet.
All right, so are we taking this? Can I spend my hit die? I guess is really the question.
Sure.
Oh.
All right, can I use
Whopping
that
2 hit
potion?
points.
Wait, what was that thing Will was going to do about the rest song?
Song of Rest.
Sorry, rest. What was that?
Yeah, I'll do the Song of Rest. I'm sorry. seem to have misplaced my ukulele pick, and it's really bothering me. But okay, yes, no, Song of Rest.
So what does that do?
We'll do that.
Use
Oh,
soothing music to help. If you or any friendly creatures regain hit points by spending hit die, each of those creatures regain an extra 1d6. So go ahead and roll another 1d6.
there we go.
Woo!
Okay, so you gain
Nice.
8 hit
All right,
points back.
I'm feeling good, boys.
I feel good.
You feel good. I knew that you would now. There's a song in there somewhere. I'll find it.
So well,
here's-
that I'm like super ready to go kill some people.
So before we go anywhere else, I do have a question.
Yeah.
That shield that I have, if I wear it, does it increase my AC?
It does.
The AC
use
because
bonus.
Your
Your AC goes up by 2. Here myself I go. Your AC goes up by 2, but you don't have the unarmored movement bonus that you otherwise would have for your speed.
You told me I couldn't have that anyway because I'm carrying the shield, so it's
True.
not on my character.
True. If you just
Um,
shield, you get unarmored movement.
I'm gonna put the shield on before we go any further.
You're gonna put the shield on? Okay. So go ahead and increase your AC by 2 while you're wielding the shield. I will say, while you're wielding the shield, while you attack, you're not able to do unarmed strike as a bonus action because you're using your other hand to defend yourself with the shield.
Yes.
Okay. You take a short rest. Go ahead and make a perception check, all of you.
I am taking a piss, so I'll perceive in just one moment.
Okay. Okay. At any rate, as you're taking this quick rest and trying to catch a quick breather, Kent and Will, both of you hear the door opening, and what sounds like 2 fairly large creatures dragging something.
I move to the door and I would like to peer out.
Okay. As you peer out, you can see what looks to be these 2 large creatures, and they're dragging the corpse of the dragon back into the tower.
Pisses me off. Does he let the room know?
Yes, I let the room know.
I say we need to stop them from taking that dragon.
I agree.
Is this the end of the long rest or during it? So I keep
This
my
is
hit
during
points.
the short rest.
Short rest.
So do we need to stay in this room in order for me to keep these hit points?
Yep.
Well,
Does only he need to stay in the room, or can we step out?
You guys can step out. You're not. If you're not, I will say Will is as part of his thing would have to stay in the room. Tuck and Kent, if you 2 wanted to step out, you could.
don't forget about him, that old guy.
Well, Monk, what do you think?
I think you can hit them from the door. I will step in the room to take their attention off of you. I need to find the sword at some point too, so that I can use that with.
You
my
need to make a
shield.
decision. He's dragging him. They're dragging away.
Yeah. I'm out.
I'm
I
attacking.
I stepped outside, and I'm banging my staff against my shield to get their attention.
Okay.
Which staff?
The flaccid one.
Okay. The both of them immediately stop and turn and face you.
Shoot him, bitch.
Should
Shoot
we
'em.
roll in this?
If you're attacking them,
I am.
all right. Go ahead and roll initiative.
All right, hold on. They're taking my dragon scales.
Really said that like there's an
Oh.
option.
Hold on.
Fucking 8. There you go.
I rolled 19, but I clicked on myself and it didn't recognize.
We saw it.
Yeah. Oh, you know why? Because I didn't have I had the ruler thing on. Apparently you can't click initiative end yourself when you have the the
Oh.
point.
Yeah, you have to the select tool set
We
up.
still saw the initiative though. I saw it at least.
I know. I'm just saying.
Hanging out,
Oh,
closing some
Erky,
windows that I
good
don't
man.
need anymore. Okay, so yeah, Tuck and Kent rolling initiative. Will has rolled initiative, and Kurt, you only need to roll initiative, but if you're waiting in the room, you're waiting in the room.
Okay.
Put you back there.
How long are they gonna have to wait in there? Full turn or?
In Kurt's case, we'll say maybe another. Oh hell, we'll say 5 rounds. Actually, I know it's a lot, but hey, resting. So
Right.
no, you know what? Forget it. Just to make this a little bit more fun, we'll say you have your hit points back, and this is happening just at the tail end of the short rest because it's going to be boring for you to just sit out. So you have your hit points back. We'll call it good.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
10th level magic. DM says so.
Okay. You just finished the short rest, we'll say. These guys are dragging off this goblin. They're peering at you. They have their weapons drawn immediately, seeing you pop out of there. Will, you watch as Tuck kind of bursts out of the room and Kent's ready to burst down. What are you doing?
Bursting? There's bursting? No one told me there'd be bursting. 2 arms. I'm gonna do the pull the rapier and the pan flute,
Mhm.
and make my way out as well.
All right.
So that's 5, 10, 15 through the door 20.
Thank you so much.
Let's say here,
All right.
and I guess all that's action. So.
Okay. I'm sorry, were you doing anything else for your turn?
Will you allow anything else? I thought drawing and preparing and all that was an action.
Drawing your weapon isn't going to count as an action.
Oh, fine. I'll say, oh, look at that armor. It's hideous. That last season, Goblin Couture. Ugh.
All right. Go ahead and roll your vicious mockery.
Hey, it's not easy coming up with this material, you know.
Okay. The hobgoblin.
As my wife yells from the next room, try harder.
Yeah, so the hobgoblin doesn't seem to care much for armor, and he watches the other one next to him kind of snickers at this comment. All right, Arky's going to follow you out the door to, let's say about here, and he's going to attempt to cast. Watching the combat happen here, he's going to attempt to cast a sacred flame. I think. Oops. Okay. Unfortunately, it doesn't find its purchase in the hobgoblin. It doesn't seem like it takes any of those hits.
So, just a quick question: is that a cantrip?
Sacred Flame is a cantrip.
Remind me if I ever play a cleric in any D&D game, never to take that fucking spell.
I have news for you. As a cleric, that's about the only offensive cantrip you get.
Then I will gladly not use it and fucking fight arm to arm, hand to hand.
That's why Gary Gygax invented mace.
Yeah. Which this guy still does have. Excuse me for a quick second.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oops.
Actually, I should have gone before Ergy, shouldn't I have?
Okay.
19.
Yeah, we just didn't update it in the roller thing.
Uh,
You're not there at all.
Kantarin, you rolled a 19 for your initiative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It must not have updated you.
Yeah, I didn't realize you had to have
Okay.
the ruler clicked off.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay.
So, go ahead and take your turn then.
All right. I am going to come out to here, and I'm going to cast Firebolt at the closest guy.
Sure.
Sure, use a halfling as a shield.
Does that count as half cover? I mean, Firebolt.
No, the halfling, no. Your halfling buddy does not count as cover. Good try though. Okay. And I'm sorry, which one are you shooting at?
The closest one to me.
Okay. Your firebolt has managed to find its mark, but feels a little bit weak. You twisted the hand just a little bit wrong. It does manage to get one out, but it takes only the barest sliver of damage.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as that's going on, all of you watch to some surprise as what looks like a bush, but is humanoid, kind of runs out the door here.
Did you see a bush?
It looks kind of like a bush, but it looks like a dead bush.
Was it only Kurt that got that knowledge, or he passed that along to us? Way back in the first session.
Yeah,
he
no,
would have passed that knowledge along. So this looks kind of like a twig monster, or a bush monster of some kind, but it looks humanoid and it's walking around. And as it enters the room, it's not going to do anything because you're too far away. But you watch as this thing enters the room. Okay, so hearing the cries of battle going on, you watch also as another hobgoblin peers out from the room. And these two are going to rush towards you guys. Let's say here. And one guy's going to come up right next to Urki here, in fact. And attacking Tuck, one's going to attempt to hit you with a longsword, two-handed. A 13 is not going to meet that armor class. So you manage to deflect that thing with your shield. The other one shoots at you with a longbow. And that 20, I think, is going to hit.
It will.
So as you're blocking and trying to stop the blow from the first hit, an arrow finds its way into your side. And I think if I did my math correctly, you went from 14 hit points down to 5. Okay. All right, and the last one's going to two-handed attempt to attack Urki. But Urki is apparently too quick, and you watch as the sword just meets the broken concrete that is this keep. Kurt, you're up next.
All right, I'm going to. Can I shoot a bow and arrow? Oh no, I need to move to the door first. Hold on. I shoot a bow and arrow at this guy.
All right, yeah, you finally hit.
Good man.
Yeah, you've managed to do this, and with your snake-like tongue, you're finally like, yes! But yeah, your bow managed to find a weak point in the armor, and this large goblinoid creature reels. And as this happens, go ahead and make a quick perception check for me, Miles.
Ooh. Oh.
Okay. There are two things you notice. As you watch this twig creature running out into the room, you know this is a twig blight. This is a creature created usually through dark druidic magic, sometimes necromantic. And while it's motionless, it looks like a dead shrub. It's not able to really do much other than kind of claw. And by itself, it doesn't really do much, but if a lot of these things are grouped together, there's strength in numbers sort of thing. But this is a minor twig plant creature as far as your repertoire plant creature go. The other thing you notice is the goblin behind you stirring a little bit in her shamanic robes, but she's not screaming, she's not moving, she's just kind of sitting there interested and watching. but she is absolutely bound and gagged.
quickly tell everyone else as I'm loading my bow again for my next turn.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. You watch as this big, imposing figure steps out, and with a booming voice, he yells in Common. Used to be a tribe of goblins could simply stay at a castle without being disturbed. Now it seems we can't go a damn week without some asshole kicking in our door and trying to chop off our heads and steal our shit. And he's going to end his turn. Tuck, you're up next.
I'm going to. Can I move and attack the one to my right, or is that too far?
Or is
No,
it
you're still with it. You're still engaged. You can do that.
Will he?
Okay.
Before you do that, was that going to cause an attack of opportunity?
No, because he's still within 5 feet of the other hobgoblin.
Okay.
So I'm going to move here and attack the guy to my right.
Okay. Okay. The 16 is not going to hit. I'm sorry. I take it back. It is going to hit. Just barely, though.
So he's a 16 armor class. Good. With an 8.
All right. You managed to just find the hard point of this goblin, and you watch as its neck almost snaps from the impact of your quarterstaff as it falls and is dead.
Good move.
If I had a free hand, I would grab my cock and say, "Fuck yeah," but I can't.
All right. Will, you're up next. Your monk's looking pretty injured.
We heard you for a second, and then you went off.
Okay. Will actually just strode in and made that comment. He goes, "All this trouble to steal some shit." He goes, think about it. And he casts a spell here. Where is it?
Okay. Let's see. What creature are you casting it on?
He gets a wisdom save to resist. I don't have to roll anything.
You don't have to roll anything, but what creature are you casting it on? Are you casting it on one of the hobgoblins, or are you
Oh, the
casting
big
it
guy.
on?
The big guy.
Oh, the big guy. Okay. All right. I will ask because of the material components and how we're going to handle this. Just go ahead and deduct 1 silver for the feather, cost of the feather and the tarts.
I thought I could, as a bard, use my magical instrument as spell focus.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, I'll let it go. Let's see. There's some silver.
I'm getting pretty good at this.
Okay. And what's your DC?
13.
All right. So all of you watch as this big, imposing figure just goes. And he just falls prone, laughing madly. And the other hobgoblins kind of turn back and look at him like, "Wait, what?" All right, Kent, you're up.
I am going to burn a magic missile on this goblin here. Hobgoblin.
The big guy. Okay, this guy up here, or
Yeah, that guy up here, because he's got a bow, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to burn a magic missile on him.
Okay.
So.
All right. That's all three, right? Yep.
Yeah. You
Okay.
said calculate all three, right? I think.
Yeah. I just double checked.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you absolutely rail this guy full of missiles, and he reels hard, but is still standing.
Okay, that's the end of my turn.
All right. The Blight's gonna. Let's see here. The Blight, I think, is going to move next to Dern and just kind of look and watch and just kind of wait. Urky's next. Urky's going to move up and he's going to swing around towards the hobgoblins there to the left. And he's going to attempt to cast his Sacred Flame one more time.
Oh my fuck! You better hit.
Nope.
Oh my
Hobgoblin
fuck.
crits. This hobgoblin doesn't. Yeah, not going to happen. All right. So, watching what's going on and hearing Will strum his instrument and figuring that some sort of odd spell has been cast, the two hobgoblins, one of them is actually going to swing around down here, and he's going to attempt to hit you with his longsword. Unfortunately, a 7 is not going to beat that armor class. While easily concentrating on the spell and strumming with one hand, using the pan flute with your free hand, you manage to easily parry with your rapier this feeble blow coming in your direction from this large goblin-winged creature. Okay.
Good luck next time, chum.
The other one's going to move forward with his longbow and attempt to pelt Urky.
Kill him. He's useless anyway.
Is there anything in that pile of shit that he can pick up and hit with a goblin? Jesus
I must use Sacred Flame.
Fortunately, with his shield that he picked up off the bugbear earlier, he manages to stop this arrow just before it finds his head. Okay, Kurt, you're up next.
First mark on this guy and then give him my bow. Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, you.
Guys.
Because he's right next to you, if you're going to attack him with his bow, you'd roll it with disadvantage.
Can I move away from him since he's facing the opposite way and then attack anyways?
You
You know
could-
what? I already missed. It's
right.
whatever.
Okay. Your arrow goes flying. You're having trouble just even getting this arrow to knock. You're kind of intimidated by this guy. Okay.
You know me, intimidated
You
by
watch
big
as the
red
big
men.
guy. I'm sorry, what?
Go on. Sorry.
Okay. You watch as the big guy, he's still laughing hysterically on the ground. Let's see, with some saving throw at the end of each of its turns, right?
At the end, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so he's still laughing on the ground. So,
Brilliant.
yeah, he's still laughing on the ground. Absolutely. He's laughing madly on the ground.
What can I
Tuck,
say?
you're up next.
Great
Go
joke.
ahead. I'm sorry, hang on. Will, what did you say?
What can I say? It's a great joke.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to attack our friendly little goblin to my southwest.
All right. Okay. 15's not going to do it. It finds the hard point of the armor, and it just kind of looks at you and grins. Will, you're up next.
He's only doing that because he knows my cock's bigger.
Will looks at him and says, "You swing that my oops."
You cut out there. I didn't catch everything.
I just made a bag like your sword is weak joke.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Finally.
The goblin looks back and he's like, "I'm trying my best, man."
And now you'll try your best with disadvantage. Loser.
Okay. Kent, you're up next.
I'm going to cast Firebolt at that hobgoblin.
Sure. Yeah, it's not going to do it.
Okay.
Your firebolt goes wide and into the tower. It sends bits of loose masonry crumbling into the ground. All right. You watch as this twig creature, kind of seeming to understand what's going on, is going to attempt to make its way towards the south, and it's going to grow into the size of maybe about a small child, and attempt to claw away at Urki. And yeah, 19 is absolutely going to hit. So you watch as he kind of squeals a little bit as these sharp, needle-like arms scrape into him. Okay. Urki pulls out his Morning Star that he got off of the hobgoblin. He's going to attempt to whack this thing. And will actually hit. You watch as he takes out this Morning Star. He's a little clumsy with it at first. He just right on top of this strange twig creature, and you watch as what once was this animated bush creature splinters into 1,000 pieces of tiny needles and woods all over the concrete.
I shout something encouraging to him, like, "There you go, Urki. Let's not cast any more spells. Yeah."
All right. The two remaining hobgoblins. One of them is going to. I need to quit clicking that button. One of them is going to. The one with the bow is going to attempt to shoot Urki one more time. And yeah, 20 is absolutely going to hit. You watch as a bow sinks deep into Urki. And he's actually looking pretty injured at this point. The other one is going to, kind of upset with Will, attempt to swing at him, albeit with disadvantage. And yeah, 5's not going to do it. So, Will, you watch as this thing, almost with tears in its eyes, is trying to swing away at you, and it's just not connecting. Okay, Kurt, you're up next.
All right, Kim. You said I can switch to my scimitars without
Yes.
using an action, right? All right, so I'm just going to scimitar
because
this
I
guy.
think the idea of switching weapons or equipping weapons as a full action is stupid.
I agree with that.
Bam! How'd I do?
Nice.
There you go. All right.
All
So
right.
both of
If
those.
both of those hit, then I can Hunter's Mark as well.
Okay. Well, so Hunter's Mark is a bonus action, correct?
Hunter's Mark on him a few turns ago. I just had never hit him yet. So once it's cast on him.
Can you link the? Hang on.
I can do that.
Because because if you attack with your offhand with the scimitar, that's a bonus action. That's your bonus action for the turn.
If Hunter's Mark is a bonus action, but he had been marked already. But marked him last turn. It lasts for a full hour. Yeah. So I said I was casting Hunter's Mark, and then I was trying to hit him with my bow. I just missed, but the Hunter's Mark still goes on him.
I didn't see the Hunter's Mark linked.
I just said, I'm sorry.
You know what? Let me see here. You know what? I don't think the Hunter's Mark is necessary. You do enough damage, even with both of the scimitars, that this thing is stabbed deep and it goes down.
That's fine.
So. But
I guess I can move out into the room.
Okay. Just for the future, if you do want to use it, cast a bonus action, so you wouldn't be able to attack with your offhand with the scimitar, and please do link it so that I have it in my roll of actions taken.
Once I mark them, I don't have to cast it again the subsequent turn. It's just already on them. So if I were to hit them with a bonus action,
but if you can at the very least just link the spell description,
I'll link it
that way I have it in just so I have that information in my actions taken.
Real quick,
Gotcha.
I'm just asking something. Just as far as the Roll20 goes, I notice now when I click on my spells, it automatically goes into attack roll, even if they're in my spell book. Like it's not linking the descriptions anymore. Any idea what would be causing that?
Spell book, and you can select what you want to do with it.
You can put in the full description for it. I set it up that way because it'll make it easier when we go into how you want to cast it at higher levels. The basic attacks, any of the core mechanics of the attacks itself, at least for my benefit, will be in the description of the spell as you cast it. If it does damage. or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
The
That's
Description.
hunters-
Go to output, and then you can do, instead of where it says attack, you can just do spell card.
Yeah, you might want to hold off on doing that because I think it'll also take it off of your attacks list for.
that's
for your
fine.
core
I'll
abilities.
leave it go. I'll just look it up as we go.
So. Yeah, so I'm sorry, I didn't hear that you had casted Hunter's Mark last turn. So
Okay.
if you just link the spell or otherwise type something in,
Sure, gotcha.
so. All right. You watch as Dern continues to laugh madly. It's a, correct me if I'm wrong, is it wisdom saving throw?
Yes.
Wisdom.
Okay. All right. I'm pretty sure an 18 is going to beat that AC.
Yeah, you only needed a 13 or better.
Okay. You watch as the hilarious fits of laughter finally wear off, and this thing kind of realizes what's going on and is instantaneously mad. He's still prone, however. Talk, you're up next. This leader dude, kind of on the ground, who is broken out of his hilarious laughter, and another hobgoblin standing near him, who is very, very badly injured.
I'm going to go after the hobgoblin in front here.
All right.
And smack.
Okay. Yeah, that 17 is going to hit. So again, crack. Your quarterstaff manages to just right across the face of this goblinoid creature, and you watch as it reels back, it tumbles down, and is bleeding over the concrete.
Nice.
I put my shield and my staff up in the air, and I fucking gyrate my hips and swing my cock around in celebration.
All right. Well,
Trying to avoid hitting myself with it. For the record.
Okay. Okay, so your cock's full, free, just swinging around. You're trying not to hit yourself with it.
Yes.
Make a dexterity check. Okay. You hit yourself in the face with your own penis for 1 point of damage.
Nice.
If that had ended up not killing you, I'd have been like, "This is perfect."
Oh, it's fine. This bastard's gonna put me down in second there.
Well, you're up next. You watch as your monk hits himself in the face with his own penis.
I'm so honored to be a member of this elite. Found that joke funny, Will calls over. So did your mom.
Ooh, vicious mockery. All right.
So did your mom.
The hobgoblin barely succeeds. It just kind of looks at you angrily. Kent, you're up next.
All right. Hold on. I need to do something real fast. Spells. 2 slots remaining. I'm going to cast Magic Missile on him.
All right. All right. All of you watch as these arcane missiles burn their way into this hobgoblin, who is still prone on the ground, and it's almost like watching somebody get stabilized, but each one is just causing his whole body to shake as it pummels, but almost pressuring his entire body between the air and the loose concrete underneath of him, and he is still standing, so to speak, but he's still conscious. But he's on the ropes. All right, you watch as Urki goes up to this big bastard on the ground who's looking injured and hurt, and attempts to swing at it with his Morning Star, and he gets advantage because the target is prone.
Oh, Erky!
You fucking turkey.
Unfortunately, a 12 is not enough to hit.
Useless goddamn crossbow. Fucking, I shake my cock angrily at the fucking halfling.
All right, you watch as, with an easy flourish, this guy wearing the split mail armor kicks up his foot and just with the armor of his foot blocks this clumsy swing of a Morning Star down towards him. All right, the remaining regular hobgoblins are dead. Kurt, you're up next. Go ahead.
Upon us.
I'm sorry, what?
Oberyn Tyrell. You guys watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Oh, O'Brien
Yeah, we just
Tyrell.
didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, that's like when he approaches the guy on the ground. That's just what
Yeah. Yes. All right, Kurt, you're up next. You watch as Erky is just failing miserably, and it's just another Tuesday.
I will cast Hunter's Mark
Thank you.
on the guy on the ground, and then I will shoot my bow at him.
Okay.
Please hit.
Advantage since he's on the ground.
You'd be rolling with disadvantage.
Okay.
Even so, a 13 is not going to hit him. So, yeah, your bow doesn't find its mark. All right. Dern stands up. And as he does, and you get a full look at him with everything else on the ground, I'd like all of you to make a quick perception check.
Special eyes, that's for sure.
All right.
Look at that.
Will, there's too many bodies around you. You can't quite get a good view on him. The other three of you, as you stand up, he's wearing splint mail armor. Not like the crew chainmail that the other hobgoblins are wearing, but this is very well made armor that it looks like. And on the center of this splint mail armor is a crest. And the crest kind of looks familiar. And as you peer at him as he begins to rise, towering over Erky, you recognize the crest that is on this armor is the same logo that was emblazoned into the sign of the general store in Oakhurst.
Oh, damn.
And as this hobgoblin chief rises well over Erky, he's going to take his longsword and attempt to stick him with it.
And he misses because he's a halfling.
And yeah, he misses. So Erky manages to block the blow, and Dern's just looking. The hobgoblin chief is just looking upset. All right. Tuck, injured and battered though you may be, cock-slapped though you may be, it is your turn.
Damn right. Butt fucking time. Moving up next to whatever the fuck his name is, because I don't give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna attack him.
It's just a hobgoblin chief to you guys. You don't know his name.
Yeah. Dickwad to me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Oh.
You get up,
Really?
you walk your way over towards him, and you almost trip on your own penis. I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw to see if your knees don't buckle in and you fall prone. Okay, so you don't take any damage, but all of you watch as he trips over his own penis, and it hurts for a minute. Your knees buckle in, and you fall prone on the ground next to this thing. I told you it was coming.
I was waiting for it.
Your own penis causes you to fall prone. Will, you're up next.
Do it again.
No, you should hear me now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will seems angry.
Mhm.
He pulls a dagger from his boot and hurls it at the hobgoblin.
Okay. I think the effective range of a dagger is 20 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Do you want to move a little bit closer to him before you do that?
How's that?
That'll work.
Ah, rats.
Yeah, no. You watch as the dagger easily finds the shield of this guy, and he just blocks it easily, not even paying attention to you.
Will points at him and goes, "That armor is not you."
He looks back at you and bluntly responds, "Ain't no use for the man who wore it anymore."
The mockery.
Kent, you're up next.
All right. Kent is going to cast Firebolt. Can I tell how injured this guy may be looking?
After that magic missile, he's pretty badly injured.
I'm going to cast Firebolt at him.
All right.
Yes.
18's not going to do it.
No?
Nope.
18's not going to do it?
Nope.
Holy shit.
This thing ducks out of the way barely as your firebolt misses it. Barely. Urki's up next.
Well,
Urki's going to attempt to cast Sacred Flame, seeing that he's not too good with this Morning Star after all.
you had one job, Urki.
One fucking job, Bertie.
And it actually hits. So all of you watch in amazement as, for perhaps the first time since allowing him into your party, a radiant beam of Sacred Flame engulfs this thing, and watch as his eyes roll back into this head, and Urki gets the fucking killing blow with a Sacred Flame.
Sacred flame, bitch.
And the last of these hobgoblins falls over with the end of a Sacred Flame. Urki turns back at you. "How do you like me now, motherfuckers? How do you like me now?"
I love it.
You're out of combat.
Thank God.
Okay. I'm looking at this guy's fucking armor and figuring out what's going on.
I
Okay.
would like to move up to this room and search.
Okay. Now, as for the armor itself, yeah. So the armor, it looks like regular split mail armor, but it is very finely crafted. It's artisan work. The emblazoned into the chest is the mark that you saw over the general store. This looks to be the Hukrella family crest.
And will point to the crest and say, "That's the crest of the family that owns the general store. This probably belongs to her son, Charwin."
Sharwin is the girl.
Oh,
Talgan is the boy.
Talgan. Is he wearing a ring?
Gurn, make a perception check.
The hobgoblin. Oh, I mean,
Yep,
look, I need a perception check to see his fingers.
all right. Let me see. Yeah, so yeah, he is absolutely wearing a ring. And yes, you can see the ring itself is golden, and it does bear the signet that is also on the crest of this chest.
Will's going to take that off his finger and say, "This definitely doesn't belong to you." And he shows it to the group and he says, "This is going back to the woman." And it's in his pouch.
Even though I'm in a different room, I'm assuming I can hear that. And
Yeah.
I'd like to say, do you think she'd give us anything for the return of her son's armor?
Very likely.
Well, might as well take it off the bastard then.
If nothing else, I'm sure one of you could use it.
Hey, Kill.
I'm going to search these two hobgoblins over here.
Okay. Before we get to you, Kent, while you enter the room and search it, you do see within this room there is a circular shaft in the middle of the room, straight here, and it goes straight down. There are a number of violet and green phosphor and fungus and sickly kind of branches that kind of hang off to the side of this thing. Within the room itself, aside from the torches that you can see along the room, there is what appears to be a makeshift stone chair with what appears to be a now empty potted plant. There's no plant there, just an empty pot. Most importantly, what seems to serve as the footrest of the chair is a bound iron chest.
I'm going to make my way over to the chest.
Okay.
Is it locked?
Are you trying to open it?
I am trying to open it
Okay.
without checking for traps, which is probably going to be a bad thing for me.
Okay. As you attempt to open this thing, a needle extends 3 inches straight out from the lock. You take 1 point of piercing damage, and I would like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
You got it.
Okay. So, ow! This thing hurts. Yes, the chest is trapped, and you feel a slight numbness, but you concentrate a little bit, and it seems like it wears off pretty quickly.
Oh, I hate to burn that knock scroll right now.
Okay. Kurt, while you're searching the other hobgoblins, you do see one of them is wearing silver earrings. The earrings have moonstones in them, and each individual earring is worth about 20 gold pieces. And on that same one is a matching necklace. The necklace itself was worth about 50 gold pieces.
Cool. I pick him up and walk over here and give him to our treasurer.
I got it. Matching silver earrings and moonstone.
Yep.
Gold pieces.
20 gold each, and then 50 gold for the necklace.
Matching necklace, 50 gold. Got it. You should see my spreadsheet. It's getting pretty pretty good. It's pretty good.
And then I look on Dern. Does he look like he has a key for that chest?
You search around the body a little bit.
Yeah.
Go ahead and make your perception check.
Well,
Yeah, you find the key. There is a key. It's a small iron key. It's not brass like the other keys that you've gotten.
I'm sorry.
Right.
A small what key?
Iron.
Iron.
well I give it to open the chest.
It is an iron-bound chest, after all.
While we're in this room, I'm going to unlock the chest using the key. Can we see the bottom of the shaft?
Make a perception check.
Mm-hmm. No, I can't.
Nope. There's a funny trick with the lights. It's kind of hard to look down there.
Okay. I will go ahead and use the key on the chest.
Okay. The chest easily opens up with the key. Inside the iron chest itself, you find a total of 231 gold pieces, as well as 2 onyx gems worth about 30 gold each.
I yell to our treasurer, "Hey, buddy! Hey, Will! You gotta take a look at this."
Hoo-ha! Very good. As he hold on, a couple of things before he heads into that room to hoo-ha. This woodland beast, this twig monster, pretty much looks like what we found on the road where the people were being attacked.
You never found any twig blights while on the road.
Well, no, but the needles.
Yeah, the needles.
The needles, you kind of glance around at the arms, and yeah, it looks to be kind of that pine needly sort of thing. Just looking at it and kind of gazing, you think, yeah, there's something, a creature much like this is probably what attacked those people on the road.
All right, so that's one mystery solved, which is good. Coming into this room, will grab the torch off the wall.
Sure.
And suggest to the other two in the room that we should set this foliage on fire just to be sure.
I agree.
Just to burn it out.
I agree.
All right, so we'll set the branches on fire around the pit.
Right. The tinder here is dry and almost rotting. The torch lights the fungus and the fire with relativity, and you watch as the fire continues down deeper into the shaft. It stops about halfway down. It looks like it doesn't go all the way down into the shaft, but as it goes down and you watch the fire burn down, you can see down below is what looks to be soft earth.
Ah,
How far down would you say?
About let's see, 80 feet.
Oh, yeah. There'll be rope involved.
We'll have to tie them together because we only have 50-foot strands of rope.
Well, I have my
We
rope.
go down that hole. We can. I think now we can probably open this door over here, right? To see whatever the fuck's in there.
You got the key that you promised you would open down to the far south.
Right. But we also have knock now, so whatever we were using this door over here by the dragon fountain, we can probably use that knock if we needed to.
This is true. Can I make a suggestion before we head on? Before we go further.
As long as the suggestion is a long rest.
That would be my suggestion. Because Friar Tuck is extremely hurt. I'm a little hurt, and I seem to be forgetting my spells. I would vote that we take a long rest.
Would it be foolish of me to suggest we're carrying quite a bit at this point? I think Killy's been very good about not letting it destroy the game.
Right.
But should we consider making a trip back to town?
Oh, I guess I never thought about that.
How
are we on supplies?
Hold on.
We haven't been here that long, so we should be pretty well set.
Well, we've
You've been in here maybe a total.
We've only been here a day.
Hold on, let me just see
We've
something.
had a long rest already, so it's probably a little bit more than that.
Two things.
A day and a half.
Okay, I have rations enough for all of us. Okay. I have a tinder box so we can light a fire and chill out. Stupid question. What would a mess kit be for? Cooking food?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's up to you guys. What would you like to do? I have one bedroll. I mean, Garen can sleep like on a dead body or something. I don't care.
We have a spare bedroll found with that backpack. We had a backpack that we picked up on day one with water, a day's ration, bedroll, tinderbox, torches, the potion of healing that we used. We did use that potion, correct?
I don't think we did.
You never did. No, you
Oh,
took a
all
short
right.
rest instead.
All right. And then there was 6 arrows and some gold as well. But yeah, no, I mean we're carrying, let's see, 7, 8, about 850 in coins alone. About a baker's dozen worth of gems, plus assorted other treasure such as figurines, goblets, crystal goblet, scroll cases, silverware.
All
The question is, if we get gold for all that, what are we gonna buy?
Well, no, I mean if we get gold for all that, have it, we can, bank it at the town, I'm assuming.
Oh, okay, here's my suggestion. Before we walk out of this place, because we don't know what will happen while we're gone, I suggest we take all of the stuff that we've gotten back to the prison room, go there, take a long rest, lock the door, because we have the key to that door. We have both keys to that door, I think.
You're correct.
If we lock the door there when we leave, we can lock it again, and it should stay safe behind that door.
Oh, so just stash everything in the prison until we...
I mean, why do we need to stash anything?
Well, all the stuff he just mentioned
Like
that he had.
Killy's been very generous so far. I am hesitant to push it. However, I will gladly do so if he'll allow it.
I'm not really carrying anything either, so I can throw some
Yeah,
stuff on the
they're
backpack.
I will
I can
say,
hold stuff too.
with what you have as far as gold and gems and everything else is concerned, you're able to carry it between the four of you, the split mail armor off of the big hobgoblin chief. That's going to take a little bit of effort to carry around everywhere.
So really, that's our only encumbrance, as it were.
That's the only significant encumbrance. The rest of it you can split between the rest of you. Between the four of you, it's enough to kind of carry everything.
That split mail, is that heavy armor?
Yes.
That's no good for me. I think anyone can wear that, right? Except our cleric.
You can wear it, but it
I
provides
quit.
penalties if you're not proficient in it.
We're medium.
Yeah.
I wear
Uh,
dresses, so
I wear not that.
Let's take everything and just lock the arm, because I would like to see that back to town. And
Deal.
Miss Nutella.
Let's de-armor him and then carry it.
Oh, before we head out, don't we have an unconscious goblin in the other room?
Oh,
She's
yeah.
conscious now, but let's
Not
go see her.
unconscious anymore.
I want my rope back.
Okay. As you work your way into the room, you guys get to about here, and she's managed to get one of her hands free. And
Sorry,
she
Kelly.
looks at you three and says, "Wait, don't attack."
Okay.
Why not?
The hobgoblins have captured and have been abusing my tribe in this home for a long time now. They are the ones most responsible for the attacks that have been occurring upon the top road. If you allow the rest of my tribe to live here in peace after you have left, I promise to tell you what it is you need to know. Whatever it is you
What is
wish.
it that we need to know?
Give us an inkling before we decide to spare
Yeah,
you.
I'd like to modify that a bit. That you can flee this place along with the rest of your tribe, which has already fled. We will allow you to do that if you tell us what lies below.
She will stand up and she will say, "Seeing as I have little choice, I will accept that offer. Below you lies the outcast, a druid who communes with the tree below. The remaining adventurers have been taken down to the outcast.
Did they go through that big pit?
Yes. The tree, the outcast,
The one
and your
that had
missing
armor.
party lies below."
What does she call the tree?
She simply called it the tree.
Oh, the tree.
Okay.
Is this the tree that gives the apples?
Yes.
Aha. The picture begins to come together like a good melody. Very well. How can this? What do we need to know to defeat this outcast?
He worships the tree and is able to control that which spawns from it. As to how to defeat him, I cannot say.
Okay.
All right.
Are you guys good with letting her leave?
Yes.
As long as I get my rope back.
I'm good with letting her leave.
Okay. You get the rope back. She gingerly steps away, slowly walking, keeping an eye on each of you.
Will stops her for a moment. He says, "I don't know what you call a female goblin shaman, but he'll hand over the pouch that has 5 gold pieces in it that we found today.
Mhm.
Say, that should help with your tribe's real."
She would look at you with a not all too unfriendly stare and greedily snatch the pouch before continuing and almost in a short jog make her way out of this place.
Real fast. Is that we're going to do the long rest? We're going to kind of go. Do you guys want to use the prison? Because
Yeah.
we can lock the door.
Convenient. Might as well.
All right.
I'd say just for simplicity of this, yeah.
I would like to drag the dragon's body.
I was
Into
coming over
that
to
room.
this room. Let's do it.
All right.
It's a long way.
It is a long way, but hopefully we're not running into
Do you want to rock
anything.
and roll?
Okay, guys, I need while we're doing the long rest, I need about 2 to 3 minutes. I got bio real quick and go grab my other pack of cigarettes. So I will be right back.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll assume then that he'll be taking his nap as part of the first dealie. Who's keeping the first watch?
Will keep the first one.
Okay.
How long? So what's the long rest?
For you, it's 4 hours. For everybody else, it's 8 hours.
8 hours.
Yep. Four for
Okay.
Tuck, 8 for everybody else.
I will suggest to everyone that they let me sleep my full 4, and then I'll keep watch for the rest of the night, or the rest.
Works for me, says Will. I'll be just
Are
outside.
you- Are you guys kind of just stabbing both the dragon's body and the split mail in here for the time being?
Say that again, sorry?
Are you guys stuffing both the splint mail and the dragon's body in here for the time being?
Yes.
Okay. So the rest of you fall asleep. Will, are you doing anything in particular as part of your long rest?
Just working on that song. There's a song in there. I know that. Find it.
Okay.
And is the goblin blood still dripping?
No, the goblins are pretty much bled out at this point, and they're
Let's
just dead
tune
on the
into
floor.
the ambient sounds of the dungeon, for lack of a better word, and just try to riff off of what he's hearing. Thus,
Okay.
alert while enjoying his talent.
Okay.
I will want to do a hit die to get some health points back there.
You'll have to run me through this.
hit-
Paul.
You get
The hit
everything.
dice.
Oh, you get everything back after a long rest regardless?
You get all your die, all your hit points, all your spells.
Let's go.
You'll get your key points back too as part of a long rest.
I get my bardic inspiration back.
I'll take it.
Okay. While you're out there kind of strumming along and humming your tune, you do watch as 2 kobolds stroll into the room and kind of look at you. And one of them in broken common pretty much asks, "Where is Eustrail?"
I'm sorry, where is who?
Eustrail, the leader of the kobolds.
Where is she? She's not here. Where she is, I cannot say.
The kobolds kind of look at each
Would I
other
mind?
confused.
What I may.
They look at each other kind of confused and look back at you and go, "Were you not with them?"
I was once, but now I'm not. Do you think that this room is hot?
Make a deception check. These kobolds aren't having it. They move to you, and both of them pulling out a dagger look at you and go, "Take us to her now."
Will open the door.
All their companions are sleeping.
And draw his rapier
Uh-huh.
and say, "You're making a mistake. I'd go back to where you came from. You'll live longer that way."
One of the kobolds will speak up and say,
I rolled my intimidation, by the way.
"Oh, you did? Okay." So each of them are beginning to buy it, and they'll kind of back down a little bit, and they'll kind of snuff at you, and they'll begin to head back the way they came.
Will just kind of stick his head back in the door. If anyone's still awake, just be like,
They're still asleep. They weren't looking up by any of this.
everyone's asleep. Okay, that's fine. We'll just
Okay.
close the door again, and
Weren't we going to lock the door?
I think I could have handled 2 kobolds.
Okay.
All right, I'm back.
Okay. Let's say your 2 hours have passed, Will. Who is taking the next watch?
Our dragon hijacking friend.
I'll go.
Okay. So while you tuck in for the night, Kent, you're outside. Is there anything you would like to do in particular as part of your watch?
As part of my watch, I'm going to sit there continuing and hold a conversation with someone that isn't there. I'm going to say, you know, I know I haven't seen, too many Yuan-Ti Rangers. Perhaps we should have brought an elf. And I'm going to say, for a monk, that guy makes one hell of a meat shield. And about our fine musical entertainment and friend, I'm going to say, his jokes are bad, but he gets the job done. And other than that, I'm just going to chill out and watch.
Okay. As the remaining 2 hours pass, nothing of any particular note happens within the remaining corridors of this cavern. At this point, Tuck, you will have regained full health. You will have regained your key points, and anything else, you have finished your full rest. You see Tuck awaken as you enter back in. Who's taking the next watch?
I will take the next watch.
Okay.
But I'm still curious why we don't just lock the door and stay inside.
Are you just going to lock the door and stay inside?
Yes.
Okay. So you lock the door, you stay inside, you're just kind of peering outside and listening around just to see what it is you can see. And let's say maybe about 3 hours or so have passed, and they're just finishing up the remainder of their rest. And you watch out the door as a few more of these twig creatures just kind of pass right by. They don't notice you. They're not paying attention to you or that room. They're just kind of walking right by.
Interesting. Do I see anything else?
Other than what you've already seen in the room, no.
Then I'm going to quietly let them go along their way, merry way.
All right. They continue along down the corridor and out of your vision. Is there anything else you would like to do while you're keeping an eye out on things?
No, I'm
Okay.
good.
All right. You all successfully finish your long rest, so go ahead and Tuck, do you still have your shield equipped, or are you back to the...
I'm going to take it off now.
Okay.
So I'm going to drop... Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I was going to help my armor class.
Yep. So you get your spell slots back, you get all your hit points, all your other good stuff back. Your long rest is over. What would you like to do?
I just need to adjust. We are back to 2 hit dice, right?
Yep, back to 2 hit dice.
Okay.
I wake up and I tell everyone I had a really bad dream about our dragon dying. Oh.
It was too real.
I'm forgetting to do
Multi-
something. Oh, my
Lost on
armor
my
class. My armor class.
Yeah, so your mage armor would have dropped that off, so
I think my AC is 12 negatively.
it'd be 10 plus your dexterity. So I think 12, yes.
Okay.
Anything happened during watch? Everything okay?
Well, 3 of those twig bitches walked by just before you guys woke up, heading towards the entrance.
Can I track them?
Make a survival check with advantage. Yeah, so you can see bits and pieces of what might be these things, footprints, leading out of this room and around towards this door to the north.
I tell the friends we can track them down. Do we want to follow them, boys?
I would like to say I don't want to follow them per se. I think we know where they're coming from, but I would like to take at least one of you back to the fountain with the potion of fire breath in it, because I believe Killy said there was one left in there.
Last time you were there.
Let's head back over there anyways to check out that door.
Well, I didn't say it's there now, but we'll find out.
I think we should go together since that's the way those thingies are going.
Okay. Will?
I suppose. I'm much more interested in the reason why we came.
Oh, it's not going anywhere yet.
Very
I
well.
would add in your character sheet, Will, that you do have a personal reason for being here.
So do I.
So do all of
No,
us.
I know, and that personal is down in that.
Well, if you'd rather go right to the heart of our troubles, I'm for that too.
We can always come back or not. It's whatever. Let's go.
Hard teleportation.
Oh shit.
So you'll head back into that room with the shaft heading down?
Yes.
Okay.
We stashed the armor inside this room, right?
Yeah, we locked it
Locked it?
before we went.
Yes.
Fair to
Sure.
say. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, the armor.
And the dead dragon.
Yes.
As you wander back into the room, you can't help but notice all that brush and dead trees you were burning away, all that violet fungus, it's all back.
Is it dead or is it live?
It looks dead. Like nothing happened.
I would suggest somebody with survival check out what the hell that fungus is.
This plant, and I don't know. That's not advantage on.
You wouldn't check it with advantage. The fungus,
Yeah, so this.
the fungus itself is a common fungus in the Underdark. It's just a phosphorin fungus that grows in the darker places of the world. It's
No,
anybody
I-
would know this.
Talked about earlier.
I'm sorry, what?
I looked at earlier, asked if it was edible and stuff.
Yeah, it's the same fungus from there.
Okay, got it.
The as for the dead foliage, the dead white roots, you don't know what that is.
Do we burn it again before we go down?
No.
Let's not look the gift vine in the mouth, shall we? And will start to climb down the vines.
Before I
I
go
will-
down, I'd like to join my rope with Friar Tuts, and that is a big stone chair, correct?
Yes.
I would like to fasten that rope to the back end of that stone chair so we can lower it down the hole.
Sure.
I will go down the rope after our friendly neighborhood mage.
Okay.
Okay. Kurt, are you climbing down the foliage or are you climbing down the rope? Miles?
The foliage.
Okay. All right. So as you climb down,
Whoa. Oh. I'm like, what the hell is this?
you climb down. The foliage stops about 20 feet above, but you're able to safely jump down. You climb the rope down and land on soft earth. Yeah, there's more than one level to this thing. So you enter into a large cavern filled with soft earth. There is more of this fungus growing all over the place, including some... Yeah, thanks, Miles.
I'll take care of it.
Yeah, please do. There's more violet fungus growing around the hallway here. It clings to the walls and to the ceiling that make up this underground cavern. The air here feels damp and chilly and is filled with odor of decay. The earth smells like rotting vegetation, and as you look around, you can see the remains of various cave animals covering the floor. As you fall down below, you can see what appears to be two robed characters carrying shovels that seem like they're tending to the fungus. They're not really immediately paying any attention to you.
Can we try talking to one? Or I'd like to try talking to one and see if it acknowledges me.
Are you talking it to from where you are?
Yeah, I'm not quite yelling, but yeah.
Okay. What are you saying to it?
Just who are you? How did you come to be here? What are you doing?
Okay. As this happens, as you say this, both of the figures stop simultaneously. They're covered with these brown robes, and they are slowly turned to you, and you can see the face of a skeleton looking back at you. And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Not friendlies, boys. Not friendlies. Oh. And I didn't hit the goddamn thing. I'm a 3, Kelly. Sorry.
Okay.
You can change it yourself, I think.
Kurt, what's your armor class? Because I have to
I'm
fix
Kurt,
that.
16.
16? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I kept trying to change it and it wouldn't let me.
Yeah, I think I have to do it. There we go. Okay. And you know what? I forgot to drag Erky down here. Give me just a second.
Archie's just standing up at the top. Well, look what I did. Let those fools go first.
And let's see. Oops.
I have no idea how to add myself in there.
Okay. Let's see. So Kent, you got a 3. I have to get rid of a bunch of these guys on this thing. The rest of you do have your initiatives okay, I assume, as we look at this thing.
Erkeler.
So, because it's doubling some of you here, so I have to fix this. So Kent got the 3. Tuck got the 20. Miles, you got a 6. And Will get the 6. Okay, there we go. I think that's set. All right. Okay, Tuck, you're up first. These things, you turn and watch as these skeletons look back at you.
I am going to move towards our friendly neighborhood skeleton here and smack him in the face.
All right, go for it. All right, the 17 is absolutely going to do it. You're that's bludgeon too, isn't it? All right.
Yep.
So you watch as your stick hits this thing hard, and a couple of the bones that make up this robed skeleton crack it a bit. And it's looking a little worse for the wearer. It looks like your quarterstaff may have done a little more damage than perhaps you initially thought it might. All right.
Weak to bludgeoning.
The skeletons go next. One of them's going to move down here. One of them's going to turn to you, Tuck, and they're going to take their shovels and try to bat you with them. 12 versus your AC, Kurt?
50.
I assume.
No, I didn't have.
I'm sorry, what did you say? Not you, Garen.
Me?
Yeah, did you say something?
No, I was saying if that was mine, it did not hit. I have 15.
Okay. The one against you crits.
That's going to hurt.
It does 2 points of damage.
Not so much then.
It's a shovel. So you whack this thing hard with your quarterstaff. It turns back at you, and it's just like right on top of your bald head with the shovel. It stings a little bit. Okay. You hear a rustle of leaves near you. And you watch as 2 of these twig characters suddenly pop up and move to attack.
Please put my 3 in there.
Okay. So one of them is going to move up right next to Tuck here, and it's going to attempt to just kind of claw at you. A 22 is going to hit you, I am sure.
Yes.
All right. This thing's needle-like arms dig deep into your skin, and you take 3 points of damage. You barely manage to move your penis out of the way before that claws its way into there, so it hits one of your not third legs.
Now I'm angry.
And somewhat disappointed. The last one next to Kent is going to turn around and attempt to attack you.
Okay.
14 to hit.
Hits me.
Because, yep, you take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
And I'll just take care of it here.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's because I screwed up and didn't get the thing on the turn order, so I don't know.
That's fine. I can adjust the hit points on the fly here when the damage comes in because I get a little health bars that shows me everything. All right. Kurt, you're up next.
Cool. I'm going to let's see. I'll Hunter's Mark the one right in front of me.
Sure.
And then I'll hit it with my scimitar. All right, I guess that's my turn.
Sorry, give me just a second. Yeah, so the 9's not going to hit. Your scimitar swings wide, and it kind of misses. Will, you're up next. You got these 2 twig blights and these 2 skeletons moving in to attack your party.
Ready? To move here and go with the rapier pan flute combo again. And try to provide a alternate target for other than the squishy wizard.
Sure.
I'll give it a squishy bard, and I'll attack with my rapier.
Go for it.
Instead of my cutting wit, I'll use my cutting, and that's not going to work.
No.
All right.
Nope. Your rapier pokes into the body of this thing, and as it does, it almost like the point of the rapier almost kind of bends at the surprising strength of the wood that makes up this creature.
Huh.
Urki's going to go next, and taking out his Morning Star, he's going to attempt to smack the skeleton with it.
Off as he does this, why doesn't the cleric have any, anti-dead spells?
You know what it actually does? I just didn't think of it.
Oh,
all right, I already called the attack.
Go ahead with your Morning Star.
So the 14 actually does hit this skeleton, and you watch as it feebly hits, but it does hit, and it takes a small point of damage. Kent, you're up next.
I just gotta check something real quick. I can't use that. I hit all of you. All right. If I burn firebolt on this, I gotta roll at disadvantage, correct? The guy
On the
closest
twig
to me?
Yes, because it's in melee range.
All right.
Yeah, 15 is actually still going to hit.
Ooh.
So, yeah. So
double?
you watch as your firebolt engulfs this thing with this dry wood that makes up its body, and it bursts into flames and catches fire easily. And you watch as this thing wilts and screams and falls into a fiery.
Stab me, will you? Go fuck yourself.
Oh God, you scared me.
At the top of the round, Tuck, you're next.
I'm going to hit our skeletal friend again.
All right. Nope. This thing parries your attack with its sword.
What about your offhand? Aren't you no longer using the shield?
All right. So it parries your quarterstaff with its shovel, and with a quick strike, you manage to punch this thing in the gut. And yeah, it shatters into a bunch of bones that splatter beneath your feet. It's down. Okay. With a single mind, the rogue skeleton. With a single mind, the final skeleton is going to attempt to bash Urki, I think. And you watch as Urki just gets whacked in the head with this shovel, taking a little bit of damage, but not much. All right. The remaining blight is going to attempt to attack you, Tuck, this last remaining twig creature.
Oh, I know. Man, son of a bitch.
Get crit.
Its claws dig deep into your skin. And this one does find your third leg. You shake off the worst effects of it, but ow. Fucking ow. Kurt, you're up.
Bam, bam.
I assume that's against the skeleton, of course.
Yeah, against the one right here with Hunter's
Okay.
Mark. Well, I guess the first one hits. Does the second one hit?
Yes, the second one does hit, in fact.
All right. Well, I do a lot of damage.
Yep, so 3, 4, 5, 6, and 11 total. Okay, this skeleton's on the ropes. It's barely hanging on, but you really, really hurt this thing.
That's my turn.
All right. Will, you're up next.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's me.
You got a skeleton that's on the ropes and a twig creature attacking, tucking. You see blood dripping out his third leg.
Ooh. I will here and attack said twig monster.
All right.
Swing my snake with the stabby.
Alrighty. Yep, 16 absolutely hits. You manage to find a point within the bark that makes up this creature and slash away at the construct that is this thing. And you watch as bits and pieces of bark and twigs and everything kind of get scattered all over the place as the thing looks up to you, as it just kind of gets cut one way, falls down, gets cut another way, falls down a little bit shorter, and it just gets a little bit shorter and shorter each time you slash. It goes down.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, when
There
Bellatrix Lestrange is fighting with and she yells at her. I feel like you ran up and you're like, "Not my friend's penis, you bitch!" And that was
Okay. Urki is up next, and will attempt to, once again, with his Morning Star, try to finish off this last dude. Seeing that things are kind of going his way. And yes, he does get the hit off, and you watch as the final skeleton crumbles into a million pieces.
Urki, you beautiful bastard.
That's a total of 2 for you, Urki.
You are, for the time
Cast
being,
Secret Flame again.
Search these Hell's Gardeners. Carrying any insignia.
you're searching the 2 rope skeletons.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. As you search around and look at these, the thing that makes up these skeletons, the robes are tattered and old. It doesn't look like the skeletons are actually carrying anything of value, other than there's shovels.
Okay. Are there anything special about the
It just looks like crude shovels.
All right. They're not like made of silver.
Nope.
They're not gardening mistletoe. That.
I can't give you everything on every corpse.
Golden shovels.
Okay, everything's dead now, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's search about. Let's spread out and just search the area.
How's people's deception in the group there? I'm asking around. Because maybe taking a cloak and a shovel might be useful for a little bit of sneakery later.
I am very undeceptive, as I'm a snake man.
As you're talking this out, Urki's going to quickly lay a hand on you, Tuck, and cast Cure Wounds. And you get 3 hit points back.
And back to 10. Yay.
I'm not a sneaky mage by any sort.
Neither am I.
I could, not to, toot my own pan flute, but my acting chops are pretty good.
Then I will suggest you pick up a shovel and a cloak and carry it
Yeah, okay. These are hooded cloaks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, then I'll wrap one about myself and throw the hood up, and have the I'll put the rapier back in the scabbard and just carry the shovel.
Okay. The robe itself smells awful. It smells like rot. But otherwise, you put it on and it has no other seeming negative effects. It just smells awful. And you grab the shovel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um.
I'll like shuffle about. Be like, what do you think? And I'll like do my best impersonation of gardeners.
Okay. Will, as you step your way right at about here, you step down and your feet seems to sink into the earth just a little bit. And as you look down, it looks like you're stepping on a body.
Oh.
Okay. I will quickly not step on the body and see what I'm stepping in.
Okay, are you kind of digging this thing out? As you look down, it looks like there's a foot kind of jutting out of the earth, and there's all sorts of phosphorescent fungus sitting on top of whatever this body is.
Luckily, you have a shovel.
Yes, exactly. I'll use the shovel to try to clear away the body.
Okay, as you clear away the body and comes up, the body is very much a human. It has been stripped of whatever it is it was once wearing, and it has been very clearly cut up in some kind of combat. You don't see any. It looks like just by judging at it and knowing your history, you think this might have been the body of Talgan.
What? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But the body itself is covered with dirt and fungus.
Yeah, I'm going to let everyone know, son. And I am going to, unless anyone has an issue with it, I'm going to cover him back up.
That's fine.
What?
We already had his ring and armor.
While he's doing this, I'd like to remark to my other friends in the group, has a problem with betraying evil beings, but not a problem with desecrating corpses out of their grave.
He's burying him back in.
Well, you
Desecrate.
have to dig him out first.
Like I tried to strip him of his scales. I uncovered it to see what it was. Oh my God, it's a dead body. Maybe we got to bury it back. Okay. Oh yes, but I'm the evil one.
Yeah, do you guys remember that one time when he killed the kobolds? God.
I'm sorry. I had to do it.
One time at band camp, he put his flute. Oh, never mind. So there's 2 doors and a path. Where are we going?
Yes, there's a
That
there's a
looks
tunnel
no doory?
There's a tunnel that looks like it leads north, and there's also a door. Actually, there's a door to your east, if it's not very visible over here. Or excuse me, yeah, that's your east, and a door leading to the south. You can also climb back up.
Let's check out the tunnel.
Okay,
Tunnel it is.
Tunnels.
you don't get. Oops.
Oh,
You don't get very far into the tunnel itself when, as almost walking up to you, as if drawn by the sounds of arguing and battle earlier, you see 2 large rats,
Oh,
and
jeez.
behind them
A
another large goblinoid-looking creature. The goblinoid-looking creature, this bugbear, is wearing a spiked leather armor, and as you look at him, it looks like he's actually wearing maybe some deer antlers over his head. It kind of looks like this.
Oh, good.
And as you begin to enter, the rats almost stop and squeal in terror and both in terror or maybe delight. You're not quite sure. And the bugbear comes up and says, "Get ready to meet the cook pot." Go
Roll
ahead,
initiative? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Saw that coming.
giant snake creatures with them. Had to be fucking rats.
Okay.
Why'd it have to be rats? My dad would flip out if he was here.
And I do have to make one more roll for the other rat, actually.
Sorting these all by hand.
Do what?
It looks like you're sorting them all by hand, like one at a time.
Yeah, I'm trying to set. Is there a way to auto sort it?
For sure. You have to have DM or whatever, but I think you do. It should be
Oh,
like a
it's
right click
right
auto
click,
sort or
is it?
something. But yeah, there's a.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Well, shit. That makes it easy.
I thought I saw you doing it last time, and so I watched this time as well.
Okay.
Just to see.
Yeah, Kent, you're up first.
Firebolt
you.
on the rat with the highest initiative.
Alrighty.
Look, guys, I may not roleplay much, but I can strategize.
Your fireball does find its mark. It lights the rat up a little bit in flame, but it seems like it's hanging on just fine. He watches this rat attempts to leap over you, and I have to make a quick dexterity check for it. And it doesn't.
I don't think that rat makes it.
This rat falls on Kurt's head.
Eat the rat! Eat the rat! Music is your action.
So this big, gigantic rat falls on top of your head, Kurt, and it's going to attempt to bite at you.
Okay, disadvantage maybe,
It's on top of your head. Doesn't mean it has disadvantage.
but it fell.
It bites into your neck,
Yeah.
and you take 5 points of damage.
Holy shit.
Can I become a were-rat?
Unfortunately, no, not that kind of rat. All right. And you're up next. You got this rat on top of your head biting at your neck. What are you doing?
Isn't Will next though?
Kurt's got a 14. Will's got a 13.
Oh, 13. I thought he got 18. Never mind.
I'll give it the hunter's mark and the scimitar.
How many?
Concentrate on it for up to an hour, and I don't think it's been an hour yet, so I can just keep moving it as a bonus action. It's not taking up a spell slot until the hour's up. If that's what you're asking.
I thought doesn't that take a? It takes. I think it takes a spell slot as soon as you cast
So
it.
it takes a spell slot to cast. So I have 2 spell slots, right?
I'm just thinking this is the second time you've cast it, right?
Right. But I can move it while it's on it, and it goes to 0 hit points. I can move the hunter's mark using a bonus action using no spell slot. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can do that.
From last time when I cast it during the last fight, I'm just moving it now. I can concentrate on for up to an hour.
All right. Well, if you're gonna go by that rule, and you were still concentrating on it,
I need to do a roll for the concentration. You're right.
You need to
Okay.
roll for concentration. So,
What do I need to do for that?
let me double check. I believe, and I'll just double check this. Spell.
I type stuff into Google, and then I just expect it to know I'm talking about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
That's just a normal word. Here's a definition.
Whenever you take damage, you must make a Constitution saving throw to maintain it. DC is 10 or half the damage you take, whichever number is higher. So it's a Constitution saving throw, and you took 5 damage, so the DC is going to be 10. So just make a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, you've
Okay.
broken it. So if you're casting Hunter's Mark,
Okay.
you have to use it in the spell slot.
Cast it then. It's fine. I'll just scimitar, which I missed anyways. All right. It's fine.
Okay. So that's done. Will, you're up next.
Will is going to stab at the giant rat on friend's head.
All right.
Still,
Tell you. Gonna tell you right now, you better not roll with critical for this.
Oh.
Critical hit.
Holy shit.
Far from it. Far from it. Your expertise with the rapier is well used here, and you manage to, without poking at your friend's head, manage to poke well at the rat on top of it. And you watch as this rat kind of keels over on top, and you basically skewer this thing on your rapier. It is most certainly dead.
I will.
I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting Kurt to have an extra hole in his head.
I was expecting it too, but that crit's not going to happen. That's crit's going to make it so that instead of a skewered snake, you have a skewered rat.
Works for me.
All right, Tuck, you're up next.
Well, let's live dangerously. I'm gonna charge the other rat because he's being a dick, and I'm
Sure.
going to attack the motherfucker. Oh,
Okay.
suck it.
Yeah, both of those attacks will hit. You knock it prone almost with its, not prone, but you knock it down pretty hard with the quarterstaff, and you finish it off easily with your fist. The rat ain't going to eat you today. It goes down. All right, the bugbear, furious that he just killed its two pets, roars and charges at you, Tuck, and
Yeah,
is going to attempt to swing at you
yeah,
with its Morning Star.
I like how he says it sucks. Oh.
Oh, Jesus.
You take 11 points of damage.
And
you watch as once
done.
again your monk falls down unconscious after getting whacked in the face by one of these large brutish goblinoids.
I'm starting to dislike these fucking bugbears.
Worst drunken monk ever.
Okay, Urki, seeing this happen, is going to sidestep past Will really, really quick and will attempt to cast Cure Wounds on you. You get 9 hit points back.
He's up.
He's down. He's up. He's down. He's up. All right. Kent, I think it may have missed you. I was wrong. No, I didn't.
No,
Got
you went
so we're at the
Urgi.
top of
I'm next. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're at the top of the round. You're up.
I am going to cast Frostbite on the bugbear.
All right. Constitution. No. All right. You watch as the frost forms up around this thing, and it slows down. Are you moving at all, or are you staying put?
I'm staying put.
All right. Good answer. Kurt, you're up next.
I'll move forward and give it the poison spray.
Ba-da-ba-da.
What is that? Did that do the same thing on your screen?
What?
What?
It just did syntax error, expected something something.
No.
Oh.
Are you trying to? Are you
Cool.
having a problem with linking the poison spray?
Yeah, yep. Linked good that time.
Okay. Okay, so strength saving throw. No. Your poison spray kind of splashes this thing in its face, and it kind of roars at you. You're boiling first. Will, you're up next.
Alrighty then. Well, it's that.
You're cutting out there. I didn't
Yeah,
catch
you're
that.
cutting out a little.
Sorry. I'm going to. I'll mock it.
Okay.
Point my rapier at it and say, "This rat puts up more of a fight than you, hairy cur."
Okay.
And that's like. Ha! Not
With
doing
the
well
poison,
with results today.
yeah. It's not really your rolls; it's his rolls. With the poison and spray, and it's screaming in pain because of Kurt, it doesn't quite hear what it is you're saying. It doesn't quite understand what it is you're saying. Tuck, you're up next.
Revenge time.
All right. I assume you get up off of being prone.
Yes. And I am going to hit this son of a
Holy
bitch.
fuck!
You watch as your monk gets up and hits this thing hard. So,
My teeth rattle after that smack.
Shouldn't you get a third strike?
if he does his flurry of blows, that's using his key as it's a monk feature.
I'm saving that for
Later.
later.
Not a bugbear.
Okay, you hit this thing hard, and you watch as the deer antlers that make up this thing's helmet kind of reel back as your unarmed strike. You basically uppercut this thing, and you watch as the deer antlers that make up this thing's hat just fall and ding, 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 onto the cave floor behind him, but he's still standing. He looks back at you and, reeling back in a quick flourish, will attempt to once again bash you with his Morning Star. But you're ready for it this time. You manage to raise the quarterstaff and with a quick dodge, parry and move around this thing. And as you do, Urgi readies a Sacred Flame against him.
You didn't even have to roll him as a disadvantage, did you?
No, I forgot to roll him a disadvantage, but yeah, that 8's not going to hit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Please call that out because Lord knows I'll forget it.
No problem.
Okay, so Sacred Flame. And no. So yeah, as you parry and flourish against this thing, he gets lit up in a Sacred Flame, and he's very much on the ropes. But this sucker is tough, and he's standing at the top of the round. Kent, you're up next.
Firebolt.
Nope.
Damn. That would be Kurt.
Okay, Kurt. Longbow. Absolutely. So you get the killing blow. In the words of Matthew Mercer, how do you want to do this?
Shoot it through its left eye, and as it tries
Okay.
to pull it out, it faints and dies.
Okay. In this wonderful flourish of moves between Kurt and Urki, it stands still, it begins to heave heavily and look at you pretty angrily. Before it can even react, you watch as an arrow pierces through the eye, through the skull, and almost in slow motion, this thing falls back, and you watch as its head falls down onto the antler that makes up its helmet and impales it through the skull.
Nice shot.
Aha.
And you're out of combat.
I walk over and kick it in the balls just for good measure.
Okay. The body has a knee-jerk reaction.
I do it again.
It
Because it
jerks
damn
again.
near killed me. Okay, I'm done.
Shall we walk into the room?
You might as well.
There. Give me his loot.
I'm
Oh, you're searching the bugbear? The bugbear has a pouch containing maybe about 5 silver. It's not really carrying much on its person. On top of that, of course, it has the Morning Star and the shield. For the rest of you wandering into this room, it's a cavern. It's a cave. It's rough, and it smells like blood and animal musk. There is light glowing fungus along the eastern side of this cavern, and along the side you can see a pallet of matted furs. Right here.
I'd like to search said furs.
Okay. There's also a wide wooden board off to about here, and it has a variety of weapons on next to it, as well as a cloak of patchy black fur hung on a pole. On the edge of the niche over here, another niche, are 2 large nests made of hair, dry fungus, and refuse. Now, searching through the furs, I'd like you to go ahead and make a perception check. You don't find anything
Should we all do this, or?
if you're searching it.
Yeah, I'll search as well.
Okay, are you
I'll
searching?
check out the weapons on the table and
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the where the cloak was, where the fur cloak was. I'm sorry.
Tuck did a perception check around the furs that make up the bedding.
Sure. While they're looking at the weapons, I'll come help him look, I guess.
While I'm searching this
I do.
And clumsily, I yell back, "If you find a nice short or long sword, let me know."
Okay. As you wander away, Kurt, you take this bed and just lift it up. And like hiding underneath, like one would hide money underneath a mattress, you do find there is a number of gold pieces hidden under this thing. Well, not a total of 54 gold and 241 silver.
Oh, yeah. Didn't see that when you were looking? Eh?
How much silver?
241 silver, 54 gold. And for
I
for
roll
those of you-
high for those weapons in the.
Sure. For those of you guys looking at the cloak and at the weapons here, there are affixed to the weapon rack. There's a total of 2 spears, 6 javelins, a long sword, and a great sword. Yeah, 2 spears, 6 javelins, a long sword, and a great sword. And the cloak itself is just tattered fur. It looks like maybe it once belonged to some sort of bear. Kind of hard to tell. But it's old, it's matted, it doesn't smell very good.
How about the cloak? What's the cloak look like? Anything special about it?
It's old and matted, and it looks like maybe it used to be a part of a bear. It doesn't smell particularly good. You think in the dark it could conceal you pretty well, but other than that,
What's that? Anything special about these weapons? Are they well made? Do they all look the same make?
all the weapons appear to be fairly well made, or at the very least, they look like they've been made by intelligent hands. They're not the crude weapons of a goblin.
Do any of them fit the description? My former adventuring friend came before us. Yeah, his sword.
No. You know that it is a longsword, and glancing at the longsword, this looks like a regular longsword. The longsword of your friend that you were looking for has a more of a jagged edge to the blade.
Right.
I tell Friar Tuck you might want to take that longsword since it's versatile. Or two-hand. Just like he does with his staff or whatever he's using, except he'll do more damage with the sword.
Yes.
All right. Are you basically
Do more
just
damage.
Is that a wall or passage?
as you peer up, it is actually a passage that kind of leads down into the dark, but it's small. You think maybe the rats climb through it, or there's small creatures that climb through it. Looking at it, you don't know that you could be able to climb through it yourself.
Can Erky climb through it? Or would he be willing to climb through it?
It's probably too small for him to.
Okay.
I was going to say stuff him in there, but so we'll leave him be for now. Someone pick up this long sword. Anything special about it?
Make a perception check.
Pick up this long sword. Perception. And yeah.
Okay. The longsword itself seems to be fairly well made. Glancing at it, you do notice there are dried bits of blood that are affixed to the sword, as if it's seen some use recently. As far as special properties or anything go, it doesn't appear to be magic in any meaningful way, but it does look like it has seen some use, and it is fairly well made.
So what do I add that as? A 1d4 plus 3 slashing, piercing?
For the longsword,
Longswords are 1d8 and then 1d10.
Okay. 1d8.
1d8 for one-handed, 1d10 for two-handed.
Okay.
And it is slashing damage.
Slashing. Okay.
Yep.
Well, gentlemen, I think that's all we were going to see in here. Or should we head south and check out the other areas?
What's this tunnel lead to? Is it anything?
You're not able to crawl through it. It looks like maybe the rats would
Oh,
climb through
sorry,
it
I
in order
wasn't
to
paying
hunt stuff and bring it back to him.
We'll listen at the door here.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh,
What door?
You don't. What door? You don't hear anything. You hear the soft wind and nothing else.
He'll open it and peer
This
out.
door? Oh.
He'll open it slowly and peek
Okay.
out.
As you peer inside, it does look to be there's a long hall of sorts, and you can see there's some doors off to the north there, but that appear to be cracked. You do see, just barely peeking in, there is a table within the room, and oops. Sitting on the table, you do see what appears to be maybe some chopped fungus stalks, as well as a mortar and pestle.
Being stealthy, will try to sneak to the point to see around.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing while he attempts to sneak in here?
Listening at this door down here.
Okay. You listening, you don't have to make a perception check. Listening to the door, you don't hear anything immediately to the south. As you walk in, Will, you get a better view of the room. And okay, so you do get to see the entirety of the room from where you are. Okay. So entering in, you do see there are 2 rows of marble columns that match the length of this hall, kind of like the large columned halls up top. But unlike up top, each of these marble columns are covered in luminescent fungus. The floor is cracked, and on all the wooden tables, you can see contents include additional mortars and pestles. There are some small tools, various tools. There's some bowls filled with crushed leaves, some chopped fungus stalks, and a number of other plants just kind of covering each of these tables. And all the doors in this hallway that make up this hallway are all partly open.
Continuing my sneak to just peek into this doorway here.
Okay.
I'm going to roll
Go ahead and
stealth.
make yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check. Okay. You're not especially stealthy.
Wait. Oh, it was the first roll.
Oh, I'm sorry, you rolled a 14. Yeah, okay, so you're good. So you're being continuously stealthy. I'm sorry, I saw the 14. So let me just make this a little easier here. Okay. Peering inside, you do see what appears to be a couple of not particularly well-armed goblins, excuse me. And each of them look like they might be mashing or otherwise mashing together a bunch of different stuff into what might be some sort of wine.
Oh,
They're standing barefoot and kind of mashing some sort of roots and fungi into a pulp. There is a bin in the center of the room that, as well as what looks to be a number of casks that look to carry maybe about 2 gallons.
all right. Will sneak back here and fill in the rest of the group. Tuck and Kent and Connor and so on.
Okay.
Real fast. Did we get the female goblin's name?
No.
Oh, shit. Well, never mind. That goes out the window, sort of. You guys want to try to reason with them and tell them that their people are freed?
I would like to keep checking the doors first.
Yeah,
See what else is in
we'll
here.
sneak over to this door and peek in there.
Okay. Make another stealth check. Okay. Yeah, you easily and stealthily make your way to the north, and peering inside, you do see a couple of additional goblins. One of them appears to be armed, but or at least have weapons nearby. They're all sleeping on. They're all on matted furs, and they're all sleeping.
You guys want to backtrack and check out this?
Okay. Sure.
Uh,
Same thing. Just let Will sneak in.
Yeah.
You sneaky motherfucker.
I'll get to the door and I'll listen.
Okay, you don't hear anything.
Okay. And I will slowly open it, crack it open, and peek inside.
Okay. There's a hallway leading to the south. It looks like it goes quite a distance.
We'll sneak up to the corner and peek around.
As you move into the corridor, you actually, boy, excuse me, I'm just full of burps. You actually enter into what appears to be a large rift that makes up a part of this natural cavern, and it heads to the northwest and to the northeast and to the southwest. And you can see towards your southwest, there appears to be part of what must have made up the original corridor here. But because of the calamity that would have sunk this place, it has shifted 10 feet to the west. The rift that makes up this natural part of the cavern is only about 2 feet below the corridor itself here. And the rift itself continues continues down. You can see there's additional paths, or at least one additional path to the southwest, but it is kind of dark here.
Well, I've got dark vision.
Yeah.
Let's regroup. Everyone here. Okay, good. We're all here.
Yeah.
You guys hang out. I'll keep scouting. Advance slowly.
Let's go south, since we already know that there's a lot of map over to our east. South, there's not much there.
All right, I'll sneak over to here.
All right.
And look down the corridor.
Okay, the corridor is actually going to be 2 feet up from you, but you can kind of peer in. It continues down to the south and curves around to your right.
Peek around the corner.
All right. It continues down to the south and again curves around to the right.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'll go back this way and check out this tunnel.
Okay, peering inside this tunnel, this is a natural part of the cavern, and it widens, and inside you can see what appears to be maybe a light source.
Okay.
I'll come this way to sit down a little bit to see if it, because I saw it open up over here to the left. I want to see if it opens up into the tunnel.
Peering off to the left, the rift shortens, and it looks like you can't continue on down that direction.
I'm going to I want to stay out of. Wait, I've got that cloak. I'm going to put that black cloak on.
Uh-huh.
To try to maybe give me a little extra stealth and just sneak up to the edge of. I want to stay out of the light. But...
Okay. Peering inside, you see a serpentine creature that seems to be the source of this light. And it kind of looks like...
I thought that was a fucking beholder when you first looked at it. I was like, son of a bitch.
I'm not going to throw a beholder at you at level 2.
Well, you might. you could be like, fuck you.
Maybe. We'll get to that point later. Maybe.
You know that snake is in there or no?
You don't. Will does. Will see. You can see this serpentine creature, and looks like it's just kind of resting. It's not asleep, and it kind of looks up and peers at you for a minute, but it's not moving.
I'll back slowly away.
Okay.
And report back to the party. There's a flame snake of some kind. Never seen anything like it. It's beautiful, but beauty hides a possibly be a deadly foe.
With the snake, and I proceed in without fear.
Oh,
right.
Jesus Christ!
At your own risk.
As you proceed in, the snake
Maybe
rises.
we can betray it and turn it against the rest of the.
What were you saying, Kelly? Sorry.
As you approach, the snake gets kind of breaks from its otherwise natural rest and stupor and rises to kind of look at you. And you hear a soft hissing noise.
It's animal friendship, and it does have intelligence of 4 or higher.
Yes.
I say that didn't work.
Okay.
I'm scared again.
It's not moving to attack you, at least not for the time being. It's just kind of sitting back and looking at you curiously.
If I move to here, can I take a do I know what this thing is at all?
Make an Arcana check.
All right. Oh,
More Arcana, not animal handling.
Not animal handling, Arcana. You don't know what this is.
okay.
Miles, I'm not going to let you make, even though it's a crit, I'm not going to let you make the Arcana check because you tried to cast Animal Friendship on it.
I was so confident. I was like, here's my chance. Not class. This race is good for. It wasn't.
I'm gonna do it too because I'm running out of ideas here.
Sure.
Yeah.
This isn't a beast, it's an elemental.
Before we proceed, can I perceive anything else in the room other than this thing?
Make a perception check.
Hold on.
Nope.
I suggest. Oh, I was going to say. I suggest to the party that we leave this thing where it lays
I
for
agree.
now.
Okay. Hold on.
We don't need to go in there.
Yeah, we'll wholeheartedly agree.
Okay.
Let's check. Let's go back this way.
Okay.
Will again being stealthy and ahead of the.
All right. You look to a large stone door. It is filled with faded carving that you can't quite make out, but it certainly looks kind of like a
I want
dragon.
to check this area in front of the door for traps, and then check the door for traps.
Make a perception check. There are no traps. You would do, however, notice that the door doesn't seem like it's locked. It seems like it's budged. Like the door is somehow just hard to open.
Open a bowl or just.
You think you would need to apply a bit of strength to it in order to get this thing to move.
And it would. My guess is it would not be very stealthy.
Probably not.
In that case, again, let the party catch up, relay that information, and say, Connor and Tuck, we'll be right behind you guys.
As I walk forward, I grab onto the door and pull as quietly as I can to try and open it.
You're pulling.
Or pushing which way is open.
It'll push in.
Pushing? I will be pushing on the door.
Okay, make a strength check. Not saving throw.
Sorry.
With relative ease, you watch as your monk pushes in this door, and peering inside, you see a fairly sizable room. There's nobody inside. In fact, it doesn't look like anybody's really traversed this particular room in a while. There are faded mosaic tiles that make up the parts that decorate the walls, but a lot of the mosaic has kind of fallen into the floor and has since shattered. In the center of this chamber, which catches your eye, is a pedestal of rusted iron that is shaped like an upright dragon. In the dragon's mouth is a tray, and contrary to the dust and debris and decay that makes up much of the rest of this cavern, there is a ring with what looks to be a ruby. There is no dust or any trace of anything wrong with this ring. The gold is shining. It is well done. It almost looks new. The gold is shining. The ruby is splendorous.
It's like when you put the one ring up to a fire.
I would like to see if there's any traps between me and said pedestal.
Make a perception check. Nope.
I will walk towards said pedestal.
I would
You're
while he's doing this, I would just like to move up one square.
Okay.
No mage hand. All right.
No mage hand. Sorry.
I'm trying to figure out this ring. What? I'd like to inspect the pedestal or the tray the ring's in.
You're inspecting the pedestal or the ring?
The ring.
Okay.
Or the tray the ring's in.
You're inspecting the tray.
Mm-hmm.
The tray itself is dust covered. It looks like it's maybe been here for forever. The tray itself looks tarnished, and you don't think you could sell it for very much, even if you did try to sell it. Go ahead.
Going back to the first night when I crigged the hell out of a roll about this dungeon, or this area, do I have any idea of what this would be?
Nope.
No. Oh, I'm gonna walk into the room and take a look at the ring. Can I tell anything special about it?
Make an Arcana check.
All right.
There's maybe a faint magical aura to the ring itself, but you're not quite sure anything else besides.
All right, guys, I'm gonna pick it up. Get ready. I'm picking it up. I pick it up. Here we go.
You pick it up. You wait.
Yep.
You have this ring in your hands. Nothing happens.
All right. You know, Killy, what did you say you were going to do with identify as far as a what do I have to deduct since we've been playing on that?
You would have to. We'll assume that you have the material components necessary to cast it. But I would ask you to deduct the relative gold cost from your total gold accumulated. Well, basically under the assumption that whatever gold you've accumulated, you would have spent the time to then spend that gold in order to get the material components necessary to cast the spell, without having to go through the role play of you head back to town, you spend your gold.
Right. Gentlemen, does anybody have any problems if I try to identify this here? And I'd like to do it if we've got 10 minutes. I'd like to cast it as a ritual.
Yeah, I've got
Sure.
some time to figure out what this ring does. I hand it over.
Okay.
Okay. So
We'll hold it in. I can hold it up for you to identify. I don't care. Whatever you want.
abracadabra, presto changeo. 10 minutes go by. Do we know what this ring is?
Give me just a second here, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kelly, take your time.
Should I account for accounting purposes? Should I deduct this from our goal?
How much was it?
That was the wrong button. Hang on. Identify those. So the pearls. So deduct 100 gold and let's say a silver piece from the total. Okay, so Kent, you find. I'm going to put it in just your journal so you can decide what you want to do with it. Okay. So it should show up in your journal now as to what it is.
All right, I'm going to share that information with the group, and it is a cursed ring of red skin.
What does that do?
It turns you red and you're cursed.
Basically, you just turns your skin red.
But bright, vibrant red.
Can you take it off?
That could be so much fun.
Not without removing a curse.
Might be useful. Keep it.
Yes. Oh, we will keep that.
I'll hand it back to Kurt. Say, Kurt, just don't put it on.
Yeah.
So I can't take it off if I put it on?
No.
Well,
I'll be honest. I was really hoping one of you would put it on.
So Kurt could technically be a stoplight if you wanted to. Oh shit!
Little
put it
ferret.
on. I'm turned red and I can't unturn red. Is that correct?
Yes.
It'll turn your skin red, and you won't be able to remove the ring unless you have a remove curse cast.
Kil, before we leave the room, is there anything else that I can notice about it or at all?
Not especially. The rest of the room is covered in dust and decay, and the pedestal just kind of sits there.
All right, let's check up north on this rift. Again, we'll scout ahead.
All right. The rift continues on towards the northwest, and it looks like it might empty out into a room up ahead.
Is this too narrow for us to be traveling?
It's narrow enough that you can travel single file.
Okay, well, let me move ahead. God damn you, Garen. You
As
say
you-
haha as the trap gets you.
As you move ahead, it does look like it empties out into a narrow room that heads back into the large hallway that you were at before.
That's rather anticlimactic.
Well, it doesn't have to be the same size of the structure entirely.
Listen, I didn't
No,
design the
but-
dungeon, man.
We should see a tree somewhere down here.
That's what I've been told.
Well, go look at the other 3 doors we can't see in.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, let's all gather into this room. Will peek out the door. Does he see anyone out there?
No, it's just the same empty hallway you were at before.
All
I'm
It's
going to
pretty
check the
quiet.
room out while he's doing that.
Go around into this room here.
And I said,
Yeah, you don't notice anything of value. Will, go ahead and make a stealth check.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So peering into this room, I have to get back to my notes. You do see you do see a couple of commoners that are kind of glancing over what appears to be a giant rat. It looks like it's strapped onto this wooden bench, and it's spread kind of like a test subject.
Like if
a
they were
eagle spread.
dissecting it, or
Yeah, pretty much. It looks like just leering in. This rat looks diseased, and it looks like it's of interest. It almost looks like it has tumors growing along its body, but the tumors look like they're kind of woody and fruit-like. In fact, it kind of looks like fruit.
it's Nurgle kill
And
it.
and on a corner inside the room, you do see what appears to be maybe some sort of fancy vial, and a fancy vial filled with some sort of liquid.
Okay. Check out this door here.
Okay, make a stealth check. Yes, absolutely. Peering inside this one, you see a couple of commoners that are banging quietly along some goblin armor. You also see some cord in there, as well as some iron needles, a few leather patches, and a bunch of other crude implements used to make armor.
And finally,
All right, no stealth check necessary for this one. This chamber looks like it might store a couple of extra weapons. You see some weapons sitting on a couple of benches in here, and there's an additional door that looks like it leads to the east.
all right, check out the weapons. See what we have.
One of the tables holds what looks to be some scimitars, but the scimitars themselves look very, very battered and worn. Another table holds what looks to be 6 short bows, and another holds what looks to be 40 arrows.
All right, I will listen to the door.
Okay. Make a perception check. Okay. You can hear what sounds like faint humming.
All right, I will go to the doorway and gesture to Kent to get everyone in here.
Okay, I'm going to walk back in here, tell the guys. I'm assuming Kurt has moved up, and I will walk back into the room.
Explain there's humming coming from behind. Is it like humming from like someone humming or something? Like a hum, like a humming.
Like a mechanical hum.
It doesn't sound like a mechanical hum. It sounds like someone humming, but it sounds kind of crude. It does sound like a female voice.
Oh, how you guys want to play it?
I say we see if we can see anything when we open the door first.
I will do the whole crack carefully and peer into the room a bit.
Short hallway leading to another door.
I'm curious if there's room in my backpack for some arrows and a short bow.
You have the long sword right now. You're carrying the shield on your back, right?
Yes.
You can
Over my backpack.
Okay. I'm sorry. You're what with the backpack?
My backpack's on my back.
Uh-huh.
The shield's on top.
Okay. Yeah. You could carry, I would say, with the longbow, You could probably carry the longbow, and I'm going to say maybe 20 arrows.
Short bow is what I want to pick
I'm
up,
sorry, you could
actually.
carry the short bow and maybe 20 arrows.
Okay.
If you really wanted.
I believe I'm going to do that for now, just in case.
Okay.
All right, we will advance. Crack.
Okay. Peering inside this room, you do see what looks to be a female goblinoid dressed in some tattered leathers, carrying. Interestingly, what she appears to be wearing, what looks to be gardening equipment, and she's tending to the rough earth that makes up this cavern, and it looks like she's kind of tending to some of the phosphorus fungus, and she's just kind of quietly humming to herself, and she's not really paying attention to you at all. I will say, as you peer inside, she is armed with what looks to be a glaive of some kind, sickle bladed.
I will go back and relay that to the party. So it looks like that's where we're going to go, though.
I would say just move forward. See how she reacts. The mage finds it funny, so he should go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, you're just kind of entering into this room then.
Yeah.
As you enter the room, the gardener, this bugbear, will turn around and say, "Hey, hey, hey! Watch the fungus." Wait, who are you?
Does we know this is a bugbear by now, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Does the bugbear oh wait, it's already talking to us.
It knows you're there.
I'd like to. It's speaking common.
Yes.
I'm going to try to lie to it and say, we got lost, and we're searching for a way out.
Make a deception check with disadvantage.
Alrighty, hold on.
This bugbear grabs her sickle and kind of looks back at you and says, "Honey, you don't look anything like a drow. There's no way you're lost. Or at the very least, you're very, very lost."
Did you
Now,
say
tell me
drow?
again. Drow, yep. Now tell me again why you might be all the way down here.
Shit.
She steps a little closer.
I cast Frostbolt on her at a disadvantage. There's no other. There's no way I'm lying out of this one. Or Frostbite on her. Well, you can blame the monk for that, gentlemen.
Seeing the very sad attempt at lying coming from our mage, I walk out next to him, slap him behind the head.
I assume this is before he cast Frostbolt.
Yes.
Okay.
And then watch him cast Frostbolt.
Yeah, you're okay with it.
You know what? Because of the slap, I'll give you a surprise. So go ahead and make your go ahead and do your roll for the Frostbolt.
All right. I'm rolling that at disadvantage, correct? Frostbite.
Frostbite, I think, is a saving throw on my end. So
yeah, but isn't it a ranged spell?
you wouldn't roll with disadvantage because I'm the one who has to make the saving throw.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Yeah, the frost feels around this lady, and yeah, she's not in the mood to play around anymore. But your frostbite absolutely does hit. So go ahead and roll
initiative.
Initiative.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. Don't put the mage as the liar.
Okay. Kurt, did you roll? Yeah, you did. Who am I not seeing for initiative? Tuck, Kurt, Kent, Will? There you are. All right. Will, you're up first. You just watched your mage cast Frostbolt against this female bugbear armed with a sickle-bladed glaive.
Will face palms.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll stand in the doorway and not wanting to. I really can't move through them.
Not really. Not where they're standing.
That's okay. I really would rather not. Anyway, says to the bugbear, "Hey, Mary, quite contrary. What are you going to grow with that sickle there? Hairballs?" Yay.
Yeah. The bugbear looks like it's generally hurt that this female bugbear looks like it's generally hurt that you assaulted its image. And she responds almost a little too loudly, "I'm proud of my body." Kurt, you're up next.
Can I shoot a bow through these doors?
They're kind of blocking the way where they are.
All right. Well, I can't shoot a bow. Hit it with some acid breath? I don't know.
Okay.
Can I hit it with anything without running into that room? I mean, if I'm stuck, that's fine. I can just keep going.
Your companions are kind of blocking the door. Yeah, it kind of makes it awkward.
Hey, go get them, boys! Here, that's my turn.
Okay.
Good job.
Rookie simultaneously is just going to kind of wander into the room and, squishy as it is, and really going to be able to do much. All right. This bugbear is kind of upset at suddenly being attacked by this frostbolt. Is going to attempt to slice at Kent, I think. And of course, you will do it with disadvantage because you did hit it. 16 beat your armor class?
It does.
This blade cuts deep into you and does 11 points of damage. I think for the first time we have someone other than the monk who is knocked unconscious and prone. Kent, you need to make a death saving throw. Just a straight D20 roll.
Hold on.
Sheet, you can just hit saving throw. Death saves. It's right in the middle.
Oh, hold
right
on.
next to your hit dice.
Well, where the hell did they go?
All right, that's a 1 success.
Okay.
Tuck, you watch a wizard go down.
I facepalm. And then slide my way around her to the side and attack her with my sword.
I'm sorry.
Can I do that or not?
I'm sorry. I got to back up. So I still had the initiative down for the other bugbear. So Kent, you actually will go. I'm sorry. You will actually go before the bugbear, and in fact, Tuck, you will as well.
Oh wait.
So
so
you're not down.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm sorry. We have to take that back a step. I had the wrong initiative.
The old bugbear initiative.
Yeah, I had the old bugbear, not the new bugbear. She's at the bottom of the list. So you're up.
All right. Can I move to here without?
Yep.
Okay. And I am going to cast.
I'm sorry, guys.
No, hey, Killy, you don't have to apologize for saving my life.
Your wizard does not go down, in fact, at least not yet.
I'm going to cast Thunderwave, and I apologize to Garing beforehand.
Thunderwave?
We have school tomorrow. You need to be asleep.
After this bugbear, I think we'll call it a night. So, okay. So you do have that evocation savant, so you can you can.
Oh, that's right. I
automatically
can make.
succeed.
Yeah. So Garen's not hurt by that. Okay.
Okay, so she does have to make a Constitution saving throw. Whoops, rolled that with disadvantage. We'll call the 8 the roll there. Okay, so she absolutely does take the hit, and she is pushed 10 feet away from you. So she's pushed back against the wall as this hard-hitting thunder wave whacks her against it. And the rest of you hear a 300-foot sonic boom emanate through the entirety of this cavernous chamber.
Nice. So you boys are in the perfect position to stop the goblins who are going to come from our arse. So please stay there.
Tuck, you're up next.
I will slide over here and take out my long sword, slasher, and an arm strike.
All right. The 17 will hit, the 13 will not. So you're cut deep into this thing as it kind of reels back and is looking pretty hurt and not much well for the wear here, but is still hanging on. Okay. Now she'll go, and instead of the wizard, she's going to slice at, the monk.
Yay! I get to go down this time.
But she rolls a 7.
And she misses.
And that would have. Well, you don't have to re-roll it, but
Yeah,
disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, that does not make that hit. She curses in Goblin. Will, you're up next.
Guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my daughter to go to bed. It's almost midnight here. I just missed the last minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, I know the thunderclap, and then she was pushed in.
Garen hit her.
Long sword.
Yep. She's almost. It's on the ropes. If you make an attack and land it, we'll call the bugbear dead, and we can call it a night.
Oh, all right. Then we'll step in with the rapier and finish it.
Okay. Nope. Critical fail.
Apparently not.
All right.
Come on.
All right, Kurt. Why don't you finish her off?
That I do.
Fortune's not. Nope. All right.
I tried.
Urky's turn. Sacred Flame. Nope. Kent.
Oh, firebolt.
All right.
Hold on.
There it is.
Yes.
All right. She ignites in flame and goes down. Okay. She watches this honey gardener goes down. And I'll just reveal the rest of this particular portion of the map to reveal at your discretion. I'll give the description here very, very briefly. But it's a bunch of luminescent fungus. There's a light emanating from it. There are carvings along the stone walls that aren't covered in fungus that depict dragons raining fire down upon terrified people. The soil is soft and composite, covers half the floor. And there's a bench containing some simple gardening supplies down to your far south. And there are 3 doors in this chamber: southwest and north. Southeast and north. And it's about 11 o'clock. It's late for folks, so I think we can call it here.
All right. Awesome. Kelly, this is really fun. I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
Good.
I would just like to apologize for the loud sonic boom. That is probably going to bring everything out of wherever they're at looking for what made that noise.
And I'm going to push the mage up front when they do.
All right, guys, listen, I gotta take off, but thank you all. This is the highlight of my week.
Good.
All right.
Talk to you later.
Awesome.
Oh,
Have a good
actually,
night, bud.
Killy, if you can stand for like a sec.
Sure.
So they are revising not hunters,
Rangers.
rangers. Yeah. Have you read through all that?
I haven't read the revision. Is there a link to that?
D&D website.
Okay, who keeps hitting their mic?
Could be me.
Anyways, it's not like a ton of changes, but I mean, it's enough to where it kind of changes the way I would play.
Okay.
But it's a lot to read through, so I mean, it doesn't have to be tonight. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention and see if you wanted to change to that or keep on with the default. Resting at level 3, so that's where we'd have to know most of the information.
I'm just looking at the. Okay, so it has Ranger Conclaves then. It just gives you this primeval awareness, which I don't think is in the standard detail. When did this? What is the date on this?
Here's the original from the D&D site. Date on it.
(9/12). Primeval awareness.
Yeah, it just changes just a few things. It changes the favorite enemy so that in the list, and then the natural explorer, in a specific place, it can be any place you have those benefits on.
Okay. Here's what I will say. If you want to pick from either the revised or the non-revised, because I don't think it doesn't. Just looking at it, doesn't look like it changes the hit points that you get on a regular level, or it doesn't change your saving throws or skills in any meaningful way. And that's kind of the important part. The proficiency doesn't look like it changes. It might give you. I don't think the spell slots really change. If you keep it off to the side and want to work off of this as opposed to whatever the standard is, that's fine. I would ask that you add in that detail into your character sheet as we go along, so that you're able to keep track of it and do keep a hand on detailed descriptions, because I will more often not be pulling from the tool I have available to me, which is going to be the standard. And if it differs, I won't know without the detail being provided.
Awesome. I just wanted to check with you before I went forward. I'll get that all changed for next week.
Okay. What is it that would be changed as part of next week? Because I don't know.
Favorite enemy doesn't have the plants listed, so I'd have to pick from one of these types: beast, fey, humanoid, monstrosity, or undead.
Real fast, I'm just stopping the stream real quick, and so
Sure.